I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tell.
Hello, beauties. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, welcome, Teaya. Warrior Sisterhood. I like that name. Welcome. Welcome to the Glam Fam. Thank you for becoming a member. That is an awesome thing to come into. Thank you, Teaya. How is everybody doing? I thought today was Tuesday, but today's Wednesday. So, hey, Susie. Hey, Rianne. Hey, Felony Melanie. Victoria. Carol. Vote for your favorite grifter. Hey, Nerdily, how are you? Is it she Morissette? I don't know if I said that right, but how are you? Hey, Sparkle. Hey, Dave. Hey, Rosie. The Paula Michelle. How are you, sweetie? It's good to see you. Aesop Inspiration. Hi, beautiful. I hope you guys are all doing well. Hi to everyone. So we're just gonna get started and jump right into this because I know we love to have our talks and be here long, but I don't want to keep you guys too long. So as I said, I hope you guys had an amazing day. So today we're actually just going to be talking about a beautiful lady named Melissa Schumer. So I think it's interesting to take things back. I also want to address a couple things too, but I think it's interesting to take things back to see why people started and to see like how they were in the past as it compared to how they are now. And I think with Mega Mouth, she definitely is the same as she always has been, um, even in the past, you know. And some people, I think, why there's so many people that are bringing and going hard, bringing more awareness about her, like the Science Girl, Makeup Monster, the Kool-Aid, which is a clip channel. Shout out to the Kool-Aid because I'm about to use one of their clips in a minute. Amazing clip channels, which thank God for the clip channels, right? Because it helps us not go to that channel. So, you know, people who try burnt toast, which burnt toast doesn't talk about. That's why you're going to see a little bit of her commentary on this as well. I've spoken to burnt toast. I've gotten her approval. Actually, she gave me her approval and I didn't even ask for it. So, but burnt toast is covering other things too. She used to cover Mega Mouth a lot more as I look on her channel, but she doesn't as much. She still does, but not as much as she used to. And she's the real deal. Like, that girl has brought so much awareness and she has gone through so much on this platform. So I think with Burnt Toast, she's amazing because I think she wants people to continue to spread awareness, including herself. And I think a lot of people, the reason why people are going more hard is because there's new people and some new people just don't know who she is. And even if you don't want to accept it, at least it's there because eventually you're going to have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make excuses for somebody who doxes and, you know, does horrible things. And you can only make an excuse like that for so long. Like, even with myself, even though I try to be cordial with her because of a mutual friend and mod, but in that same sense, I still knew that she was problematic. I just never knew that she was this problematic to where she was doxing people. And then that also says a lot about our mutual friend because she has stood by her this whole time. And this is something that she's been doing. And there's always an excuse. So, one thing that I want to pull up before we start talking about Melissa Schumer, and if you don't know who Melissa Schumer is, we'll get into that in a minute. But I want to do commentary on a clip that I ran into. Like I told you guys, I do not watch her. You know, I don't. She does not trigger me or faze me in any way, shape, or form. But this particular clip was interesting. And the reason why it is I'll tell you when I bring it up. Again, shout out to the Kool-Aid channel because, like I said, it stops people from having to go over there and give her the view. If you don't want to give her the view, just watch clip channels. And Kool-Aid is an amazing clip channel that brings a lot of awareness on her. So I'm going to pull this up really quick. I'm going to share my screen. How is everybody? Yes, burnt toast is amazing. I just think she's just very straightforward. And she's very educational. She presents her content in a very educational way, which I love that about her. She's very, very good. Okay, so 1 second here.
Which one's yours? Is this Jake's?
That one gotta go.
So the reason why this particular clip, I don't listen to any of her shit, but if a clip comes through my algorithm, sometimes I watch it, sometimes I don't. And I guess it was probably meant for me to watch this one. Hey, Stranger Clegan. I think it was meant for me to watch this one because I feel it's interesting because of the things that's being brought up. And I'm going to honestly say to you guys, I've never witnessed so much ignorance from one person. Hey, not another housewife as well. She does amazing commentary in a non-biased way. And she just gives her opinion. And her channel will be in the description because there's a lot of people who kind of are confused about everything. And she did like a good breakdown of everything that's going on. So I will put her channel in the description as well. So let's listen.
I'm better than both of you combined. I'm better than both of you combined. I'm better than both of them combined. Okay.
Hey, Rianne, get some rest, sweetheart. We're good. If you need to get some rest, go get some rest, sweetie. Everybody's been getting a cold, you know, because when the kids start back school, they're around all kinds of germs and all that kind of stuff. So if you need to get rest, get some rest and take care of yourself, okay?
I'm better than both of them combined. Shit. Jeez. Anyway, sorry about that. Pulling the race card. She never did that before. I never heard her saying anything up until last night. I didn't know I was a racist or that she was calling me a racist. And to say,
okay, again, and I'm not gonna keep saying this. I have never blatantly called Megamouth. I have never blatantly said that about her until a couple days ago. And this clip I think was from a few days ago. But at this time, I had never said that about her until I started doing more and more research. And it's very obvious that this woman has a lot of racist tendencies, the things that she says, and it's going to happen in this particular clip. Okay. So, but it just shows you the way that she manipulates her audience to make them think that, you know, pulling the race card, blah, 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 blah. Well, do you say that about other people who call you a racist? And I'm talking about white people, because there has not been not one person that I have come to meet or, you know, encounter, whatever, in my comment section, whatever. There has not been one person that dislikes you, that has not said you are a racist because of the derogatory statements that you make. Black people don't swim. The things that you say, and there are some people who are that way and they don't even know. They don't even know it. And I don't know if she does or if she doesn't. But the point is that you do ignorant things that shows very clearly that you are, you know, so I have to call a spade when I see it. But at this time, I didn't say anything. Actually, my two moderators did, but I didn't.
that I only gave her super chats because I didn't know I was a racist or that she was calling me a racist. And to say that I only gave her super chats because I was buying Black women.
Now, I'm going to let you guys hear this, say this to you very, very clearly. The manipulation in this entire clip is so obvious that it can hit you, slap you right dead in the face. How do you go from one woman to Black women? Okay. You're talking about Black women as a whole. You're not talking about one Black woman. So that is also your way of trying to discredit me. That is also your way of trying to produce this mob mentality of, Oh, she's trying to say that I try to buy all Black women. No. How does one woman, me as a Black woman, biracial, whatever, how does me as a one woman, how do you call all Black women into this? For one. And for two, I never said that you were trying to buy me. I said that I'm not for sale, because if you're sending me super chats and you're complaining about them now, okay, I didn't ask you to send me super chats. Never. I never said, Molly, send me super chats. Molly, tell your, shout me out on your channel. I never asked you for a damn thing. So therefore, now that you're complaining about your super chats, that means that you had an ulterior motive as to giving me super chats. Okay. And because it's very obvious that you had an ulterior motive, is because I didn't say what you wanted me to say, which was you wanted me to go along with your false narrative and say that the report itself was fake. And I did it, and I came on my channel and I showed the proof, because my people deserve to see the proof. Okay, they deserve to know the truth. So once I'm telling the truth about this, right, that goes against your narrative. And that's when you started all this. Okay, I didn't start this, you did. Okay, you're the one that keeps running your mouth, saying ignorant things, saying derogatory things towards the LGBTQ plus community, towards Black people, everything. You're the one who has been saying all these things, not me. Your true colors are obviously showing. However, that means I'm not for sale, because you were sending me super chats so I would do exactly what you wanted me to. And the moment that I went against you and just said, and it wasn't even me going against you, it was, this report is not fake. I don't know why they're saying it's fake. It's not going to help the situation. This report is real. Now it's a problem. So therefore, that's what I'm saying. I'm not for sale. No one's going to buy my silence. I'm not going to go along with any false narrative. Okay? I stand on my own. But to be clear, you keep talking about all the super chats that you've given me, which you haven't given me that much. Okay? You really haven't. So am I supposed to bow down to you because you've sent me super chats? You sent me some super chat, some super chats every once in a while. I'm supposed to bow down to you now? That's not the way it works. That's probably the way you thought it was going to work, but not with me. I didn't ask for your super chats. I don't need your super chats. But am I going to deny you giving me super chats? Hell no. That would make me a fool, right?
Can I ask if anybody heard her explain that to her audience? Because that's a pretty harsh comment, which needs some sort of subcontext, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Females are always better shooters, small trigger fingers. Yeah. I don't know. And then someone tried to.
I can explain to my audience very clearly this. You're complaining about giving me super chats now. Okay. And I want it to be very clear. There are people here that don't know you. Okay. There are new people here, including myself. I didn't know that much about you. I really didn't. I did not know that you did these types of things. I didn't know you dox people. I didn't know these types of things. I knew you were problematic, but I didn't know you that well. So therefore, now that I'm getting to know you, it's very clear who you are. Very, very clear. But the point is that I've never said you tried to buy Black women. I said, I'm not for sale. And what that means is if you were trying to buy me, it's not even about being Black. You're the one that you're the one that's talking about race more than anything. Okay. It's not about you trying to buy me in that certain sense. It's about you're complaining. You're complaining now about the super chats. Your stands are coming into my comment section complaining about the super chats. Therefore, don't you give out of the kindness of your heart? Right? You give to charities out of the kindness of your heart. You give people super chats out of the kindness of your heart, right? You do all of these things out of the kindness of your heart. Well, it's not out of the kindness of your heart. You know, you're always talking about, I give, I give. All you talk about is money. That's all you talk about. I give to this, I give to that, I give super chats, I give that, I give this, blah, 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 blah. Right? So therefore, if you give out of the kindness of your heart, you're not going to complain after you do it. I became a member of your channel. Of course, I am no longer a member of your channel, but I did. Am I going to say I want my $6 back or whatever, however much it was monthly, even though it wasn't for that long? No, because I don't care. You're the one who's walking around complaining about it. So therefore, you had an ulterior motive as to why you were giving me super chats. But yet here you are, you give out of the kindness of your heart. Then why are you complaining? Why are you complaining about it? And your ulterior motive was, I'm going to, send her some super chats. And it wasn't that many, but I'm going to send her a couple super chats and maybe that'll shut her up and go along with my narratives. As long as it's not everything's about money though. I have money. I don't need your money. Okay. I can pay my bills, blah, 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 blah. Not everybody is for sale. And it's not about being black. It's just in general, your character, your morals, your integrity. Something you just don't know anything about. So that's the part where I'll explain that to my audience. Okay?
To say, oh, I think it was Justin. He was like, oh yeah, Marissa's such a racist that she takes these African-American children into her home and buys them clothes and takes them out to eat and blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't think of them as blacks. They're Jake's friends. They're human, just like me. They have just as much value as if they were Indian or Asian. Exactly, helping out. Listen, the thing with
okay, so what is the point of even bragging about that though? Like, if you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart, then why are you bragging about it, for one? Okay, that's for one. And for two, I just don't understand what the point of even bringing that up is. Why is it that you feel you have to prove yourself? So you buy clothes and different things for Jake's friends who happen to be black? Okay. Well, what makes you think they need clothes? Do you just buy them just to buy them? And if you do, that's great. Out of the kindness of your heart, that's great. But the point is, what the hell does that have anything to do with anything? It doesn't. You could be buying them clothes and all these types of things to make yourself feel better. You could be doing that to prove something to yourself. That just doesn't even sound right at all. But as I said, sit back and relax and watch, okay? I don't have to say anything. You're doing it all on your own. It's these negative stereotypes against Black people that I think is your huge problem. Exactly. It's weird. It's there's no point to even bring something like that up. I don't know what you give and what you don't give, and I damn sure don't care about it. But for you to sit here and talk about how you give, what does them being black have anything to do with it?
Nas taking him shopping and spending like what, $940. The kid needed sneakers. I'm sorry, he needed them.
I think that's great that you did that if he needed some tennis shoes, but do you actually think that it's like that with every Black person? So I'm supposed to be grateful, like I said, and bow down to you because you chose to give me a super chat? Okay, I think that's great. He needed new shoes. You got him new shoes. But not every Black person is in that position. And to be honest with you, there's no point in even bringing that up at all. At all.
He needed socks. He needed underwear. He needed it. All right? If he was white, he needed it. It doesn't matter. And guess what, Teaya? I'm a Trump supporter. I know. They told you to believe that all Trump supporters are racist.
Now, see, here's where the ignorance is, and that's why I thought this particular clip was very interesting, and this is the only reason why I chose to do commentary on this clip. I pretty much ignore the majority of the things that she says, except for things that can be easily debunked. But for you to sit here and say, guess what, Teaya? I'm a Trump supporter. Do you have any idea how ridiculously stupid you sound? I have family members who are Trump supporters. Not everyone sees things the same. Okay? Just because you are a Trump supporter, that doesn't mean anything. You want to know who else was a Trump supporter? Goose. And I was friends with her for a good amount of time. I don't judge people for what they choose, for whoever it is that they choose to support. But in the same sense, of course, I have my problems with Trump and things like that. But to me, this was an ignorant statement. There are Black people who support Trump. You do know this. But are you seriously that ignorant that you think that all Black people think that anyone who supports Trump is a racist? I don't get it. First of all, I'm independent, so I'm not neither or. But regardless, I don't judge people by whoever it is that they choose to support. You support who you want to support. As long as you're a good person, I don't care. It's very blatantly obvious that you're not. That's a huge stereotype right there. To categorize all Black people and say that that's what they think. You sound ridiculously ignorant.
Keep listening. Keep watching. Keep looking at TMZ.
There's another statement that just sounds so absolutely ridiculous and ignorant. So therefore, I watch TMZ to get my information, a gossip channel that reports majority of the time on celebrities. There is another stereotype against Black people. Do you think that all Black people just sit back and watch TMZ? You don't think Black people sit back and watch Fox News and watch any kind of prestigious news firm? We just go by what TMZ says?
But anyway, if you think that what you've done in the past couple of days has helped the situation at all, it hasn't. And the fact that you're more concerned with losing subs and then taking on Dre's people, look what you've now done to Letitia. Now look what you have done to Marvon Sr. and Wynette. You don't care about Marvon. How are you going to go forward and do a Marvon video like you care? Not with those chicks.
I don't understand your comment, Phoenix. How am I saying that TMZ is racist? She said that. I didn't say that. No, I'm saying TMZ reports on a majority of celebrities, and I wouldn't get any type of political, sit back and go by TMZ on any kind of political information. They report on celebrities. That's what I'm saying. She's the one who said that. First of all, the only person who's counting or cares that I lost subs is you, because you're the one who came in here and publicly announced that you were leaving, announcing your departure like this is an air flight and nobody gives a shit. Okay, you're the one who did that. You're the one who announced it in your Patreon to make sure that your Patreons followed your lead, and so did Justin. Okay, you're the one who did that. You guys are the ones who made sure that your supporters were not going to be in here creating your mob mentality bullshit. Okay, not me. I don't give a shit about losing people or losing subs that weren't even here for me to begin with. Because if they were here for me to begin with, then they wouldn't have left now, wouldn't they? They wouldn't have gone by what you said. But the point is that you're counting my subs more than I am. You want to make it look like I'm so pressed and triggered by how many subs that I lose or how many subs that I gain. No. Because at the end of the day, the people who left because of you are replaceable. I don't want people here just because they want to hear what I have to say, as long as I'm defending you or they think I'm defending you. No. Secondly, again, quit using Ms. Letitia to stir up drama. The only one who has caused drama surrounded around this story is you. In the beginning, yes, absolutely. You did great things to bring awareness to this story. But middle and up till now, you have done nothing but cause chaos, inciting chaos, and drama. That's all you have done. And you're trying to use Ms. Letitia to attack others. Exactly. It's quality over quantity with me. I want people that want to be here for me and to hear what I have to say. I don't want people to be here just because of one person that I'm talking about. Because contrary to popular belief, we talk about all problematic creators equally. Okay? So the point is that you're sitting here saying that I have somehow hurt Ms. Letitia because there are people who are coming in here that don't like Ms. Letitia or whatever. First of all, anybody's welcome here as long as they're being respectful. But in that same sense, you're the one who's causing all of this drama towards Ms. Letitia. You're the only one who has caused so much chaos throughout this whole story. It's you. To the point that nobody's even talking about Vaughn anymore. They're talking about the drama that you continue to cause. And then you sit there and you try to act as though you're doing all this to Miss Letitia when we blatantly say we stand for Miss Letitia, but that doesn't perpetuate your narrative. That's why you keep saying that. Like you're so concerned about Ms. Letitia. If you were so concerned about Ms. Letitia, you wouldn't have even said this report was fake in the first place. If you were so concerned, especially because of the fact that Ms. Letitia was in here saying the report was real. And then you had to change your narrative, just like Not Another Housewife said.
You can't. Might as well take those other videos down. You don't care about Marvin. You proved it last night. You only care about your channel. Because guess what? I openly just said, I am a Latino white woman.
Go ahead and keep talking about you're a Latino white woman. That's great. I don't give a shit what you are, okay? I don't care. And the only time you talk about and make sure that you add Latino on there is when you're talking about somebody Black, when it's ridiculous. But the point is that you want to sit here and talk about your best interest is of Vaughn. So I'm supposed to take down all of my videos that I did because of what? You make no sense. And everything that you say it sounds absolutely ridiculous. It really does. You sound absolutely ridiculous. And to sit there and say that all I care about is my channel, I'm not on YouTube 24/7. I think probably you're the you're the creator that is constantly on YouTube as though you don't have any other life besides YouTube. I'm not on my channel 24/7. You are. That's you. You care more about your channel than anything else. And that's great. If that works for you, hey, whatever floats your boat.
Who supports Trump. Do you know what happened in Puerto Rico? The bitch that runs Puerto Rico borrowed all this fucking money from America. It was time to pay back. She gave us the middle finger, right? I think she did it. She did it a couple times, right? You know what? Trump went down there. He threw his little paper towels. He's like, yeah. Even though you gave us the fucking finger, I'm going to bail you out again.
Why do you keep talking about Trump? Like, I don't understand. I really, really don't. Like, you're constantly bringing Trump into this. And it's like, lady, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't understand. Do you guys understand? I don't understand why she keeps bringing up Trump. He has nothing to do with this. Like, make it make sense, please. Patricia Foster says, isn't Goose a mod / friends with MGL, or is this a different Goose? After listening to you both and Cutesy, another housewife, I think MGL is trying to split you and Goose up permanently, in my opinion. I think that was her intention all along. I do. I think once she started coming on my channel and seeing that, at that time, Goose and I were very close. I think once she started seeing Goose up on my panel, I think she definitely wanted to be the person to cause that. However, Goose is a grown woman. She can make her own decisions, and she chose to perpetuate Mega Mouse false narratives. And had she never do that, things would be fine. There'd still be some issues, but it wouldn't be what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I do think absolutely her main goal, once she's seen, because I think that MGL is a very, very hateful, jealous woman. And I think once she's seen that, Goose and I were close, I think that was her ultimate goal. And it worked. But it didn't have to work. It didn't have to work, okay, if Goose didn't let it. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. We live and we learn, absolutely. But I just feel like it wouldn't have worked had she just said, no, I'm not going to tell Teaya this report is fake. I'm just not going to say anything at all. If she talks about it, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? But yes, I completely agree with you. She just seems like that type of person that is very possessive over people that she's friends with and will do what she has to split people up. I think that is what drives her. I think it's what motivates her. I think this is a very evil woman that thrives off of people's misery. That's what I think.
And they're all like, "Yay! Yeah, I'll bail your asses out again." Yeah. Guess what? Trump sent all of those boats with food and supplies. Did you know that? And then they stayed there. And no one on the island, except the leaders, knew that all that food was sitting there rotting. And they allowed the Puerto Rican residents to suffer. He carried through. And the leaders in Puerto Rico made the citizens suffer and go without. Got it. That's exactly how it happened. My last name is Gonzalez. I know I look white. I know I'm a woman. I know I'm a Latino. I'm not supposed to like Trump. Well, guess what? I'm actually a libertarian, and nobody tells me what to think. And nobody's going to tell me that I'm supposed to be a racist just because of who I voted for. That's ridiculous.
This chick, like, I don't understand how anyone can support this chick. She's acting like I said this. Okay, that it's like this woman believes her own lies. That's what intrigued me about this particular clip, because you're sitting there saying no one's gonna call me a racist just because I support Trump. What? It has nothing to do with Trump, sweetheart. It has to do with the things that you say. This has nothing to do with Trump, but you're acting like you heard me say that or something. Like, oh my gosh. Lord.
One of my heroes is Candace Owens. Do you know who that is? Take notes. Because you want to know something, Teaya? With your big mouth, you should be looking up to that chick. Because let me tell you something. As far as an inspiration, she's one of the most powerful women in the entire world. And you have a platform that you could be using for good.
To the person who is a trauma vulture, for one, okay, and also a trauma pimp who capitalizes off of people's hurt, okay, who capitalizes off of victims, you are the last person to talk about me doing good on my platform. You're the last person. You're the one who should be doing something good on your platform, besides bragging about money all day and bragging about what you got. How about you do something good with your platform? Because we're okay over here. And also, Candace Owens, I've watched her before, and sometimes I'll give her props where it's due if she's right. However, I also think that Candace Owens has some self-hate, in my opinion, and I'm going to leave it at that. There are some things that I'll give her props for that she's right about, absolutely. But Candace Owens, yeah, she's not, definitely someone like you absolutely would support somebody like Candace Owens, because she speaks the things that you want to hear. And what's great about it is she's a Black woman speaking the things that you want to hear, like talking about that we shouldn't celebrate. What did she say? We shouldn't celebrate June 15th. Yeah, that's the type of person that she's perfect for you to like. But in the same sense, there are some things that I agree with when it comes to Candace Owens. So please miss me with that. That's great that you support her, but no. There are some things that she has said in the past that I have agreed with. Juneteenth, that's it. Thank you. There are some things that she said in the past that I have agreed with, but the majority of things that she says, absolutely, I don't agree with. And I think that she has a lot of self-identity issues, and that's just my opinion. But the point is I can see somebody like you supporting somebody like her. And that's great. But again, she has nothing to do with this either. She has nothing to do with this, and neither does Trump.
You say you want to help people? Help people, don't hurt them. You hurt Letitia. You invited all those clowns in, right?
Oh, sorry, you guys. I forgot to mute that 1 second. Okay, so I have hurt Letitia exactly how. Now, first it was I hurt Letitia because of the report, okay? Then Miss Letitia came in here and stayed the entire time in the chat and said that the report is indeed real, okay? So that didn't work for you. So now the narrative is that I invited all of these horrible people to come into my chat. That obviously is another manipulation tactic that you're trying to use to turn Miss Letitia against me when Miss Letitia knows I stand with her, even if she was to never come into my chat again, I would still stand with Miss Letitia because I do think she is the victim. So for you to say something like that, and anyone who has come into my chat, for the majority, some people who have came in my chat have a very strong opinion about Miss Letitia, and I don't agree with it. But as long as they're respectful towards Miss Letitia in my chat, that's all I can do. But at the end of the day, you're sitting here saying that I hurt Ms. Letitia because there are people in my chat that have a difference of an opinion than I do. That's another manipulation tactic that you continuously use, okay, to make sure, to be honest with you, to make sure that Ms. Letitia has no one standing with her but you. That's what that means. Because you want to isolate everyone else from taking a stand and standing next to Ms. Letitia. You want to isolate everyone else except for yourself. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Notice how Letitia is still speaking to them, how she's a victim in this story. Dre and Vaughn are the victims. I think I'm not talking about the Justice for Vaughn story. That's a separate story from Ms. Letitia. I'm talking about Ms. Letitia as far as being a victim and being called a fraud when I don't believe that there has been any facts to prove that she is. That's what I'm talking about. Of course, Vaughn is the victim here. Okay. And that's just my opinion. I think Vaughn is a victim and nobody is even talking about that anymore because of her. Nobody's even talking about that anymore. And I don't know if Miss Letitia's still talking to her. Maybe she is. I don't know. Is she really a victim? I haven't had a relationship with my mom. And if she was collecting money to come see me, I'd have a problem with that. Rather, I'm on my deathbed. Well, that's your opinion, Christy. Anyone who threatens Molly, lies, and narrative, or if you get a lot of attention and speak to the real truth, you automatically become the enemy. MGO cannot have anyone hearing the truth. I agree with that. Between her and her minions, especially this Penelope and Amber chicks, are going to make Michelle go over the edge. That's horrible. That is horrible. I hate to say this, but all that talk about Miss L from her is her protecting her investments. I agree, Jess. I agree. Yes. Rest in peace to Coolio. Coolio passed away today. So rest in peace to him. Do you feel it's right to show receipts for fundraising or should be Ms. Letitia's discretion? I think that there's nothing wrong with being transparent.
Why? What started all this? Because I said I'm unsubbing? So just because I said I'm unsubbing, I never told anybody to unsub. But you, on the other hand, you went against terms of service, didn't you? You told everybody to mass report. So if I was to tell and do the same, right? Everyone would take that timestamp and report you saying it, and your channel would come down. I wouldn't do that.
So I want you to listen very clearly to this. This is coming from a woman who literally has my moderator's house as her thumbnail still till this day. And it's been several days now. We have reported, we have done everything. Okay. And my moderator's house is still the thumbnail on her channel with her 70,000 subscribers. Okay. I don't care that you came in here and announced that you were subscribing. You were never in here to begin with. The only time you were in here is when I was talking about Katie Joy. That's it. You weren't even in here when I would talk about Justice for Vaughn. You weren't even in here. So the point is, you want to sit here and say, oh, I could report your channel. dig up the clip because my video's still up and report. Report away. Because you're going to look stupid just like you do right now. Because the only thing I said is if you're doing hate speech, because that's what you did, you got on your channel, see the video's deleted now, okay? Because you knew that you weren't going to keep that video up because you were literally making derogatory remarks towards trans women. You were saying the most about trans women, making it seem like trans women were the worst things in the world. You were talking about the LGBTQ plus community, and I hope somebody has that recorded. I have some clips of it, but I hope somebody has the whole thing, because you literally, it was hate speech. And there were people complaining in the chat. So when they complained, my words were, if she is doing hate speech, report her, because you're not allowed to do hate speech here on YouTube, which is why you deleted the video. Anything to fit your narrative, anything to make other people look bad. But the problem is that the majority see you for who you truly are. You think people didn't see that video? You think people didn't see that live stream where you were bashing trans women? There are people who've seen it that were going back and forth from my live to yours and that were highly, highly offended. Okay? Very offended. When you're on YouTube and somebody's doing hate speech, you have every right to tell people, if she is doing hate speech, report it. So if you think you have that much power to go on YouTube, dig up the clip and do it, because you won't. You won't. But do I care that you came in here and announced that you were unsubscribing? No. As I've said many a times, this is not an airport. No need to announce your departure. Take off. But you did that on purpose. And you also did it on purpose when you announced it to your Patreons, which we have proof of as well. You wouldn't have announced it to your Patreons if you didn't want them to follow your lead. So stop with your bullshit manipulation tactics, because you would have to be a fool not to see through it. You're talking about Trump, Candace Owens, like you're all over the place. And the reason why you're all over the place is that you're just trying to find whatever you can to discredit me to the new people that are watching you. But eventually they're going to see how you are too. And eventually the people on your Patreon, they're going to see how you are when they fucking look down the road and you dox their asses too. Just like you did my mod.
I never do that. I've seen channels come down because of that. You don't ever want to fuck with that. You need to be careful with your words. Just a little bit of advice for someone that's been doing this for a while. And you want to know something? Don't ever bite the hand that feeds you. When people are nice to you, accept it with grace and with class. If you can allow one word, unsubbing, take.
First of all, I don't want you, people like you, to be nice to me in any way, shape, or form. I've always had a problem with you just from the beginning, just because I had respect for someone else and tried to be cordial with you. Doesn't mean I ever liked your ass, because I didn't. I never liked your attitude. I never liked your demeanor. I never liked the things that you would say. You would be funny at times, but I never liked your ass. There was always something about you that I never liked. I don't need to accept, don't bite the hand that feeds you. So now you're feeding me? I'm just saying, you sound absolutely ridiculous. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And then in the next breath, it's when people are nice to you. So do you know what don't bite the hand that feeds you means? You're basically trying to say that I'm biting the hand that was giving me money. You act like you gave me so much money to begin with. No, you didn't. There was one time you came in here and you were generous and you gave me $100, which I did not ask for, by the way. But in the same sense, if you think that $100 is feeding me, you are sadly mistaken, sweetheart. Exactly, Dave. I'm sorry. I just don't like the way, I've never liked the way you move. I don't like the things that you do. And you have proven time and time and again that you are exactly what everyone preaches every single day on their channels. You lie, you maliciously hurt people, you cause drama, just like, in my opinion, and I agree with a lot of the people who have known you and who have been watching you for years, you're doing this because you don't have a cash cow right now. There's nothing that you can talk about right now. So you're just trying to stir up as much drama as you possibly can. But see, it's not drama if the person that you're talking about isn't contributing to it. There's a difference between pulling up facts and going over facts than drama and doing a tit for tat. You're this, you're that, you have nothing, you're blah, 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 blah. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And then me get on my channel and start yelling and screaming and you triggering me. That's drama. But I'm not triggered off of you. I'm perfectly calm calling you out on your bullshit. But as far as doing a tit for tat of who looks better than who, and no, I don't really look like this, or I don't look like a trans and all that kind of stuff, no. Go have a stadium full of seats. Now that's drama. That's what people want to see. And that's what you are trying to do. You're trying to trigger me. It's not going to work no matter what you say.
Pick you off to the point where you can blow it up into accepting every person that's trying to help Letitia, hurt Letitia as new subs and friends. You completely threw Marvon Jackson McCray under the bus. You don't care about him. You don't care about his safety or his health.
Oops, sorry, you guys. I'm sure that was echoing. My bad. And that's another manipulation tactic because you know that your audience is very passionate about Vaughn. Okay. Very passionate. You know, people like you are very predictable to me. Like you're a very predictable person. Like it's very obvious the things that you're going to do and say next. Okay. And you're sitting here saying, you don't care about Marvon. You're doing that to play on the emotions of your audience because your audience, they care about Vaughn. They're passionate about Vaughn, just like I am. However, you're using that to emotionally manipulate your supporters. Okay. And if they are sheep and they want to follow that, that's fine. That's completely fine. I do not care. But just know it doesn't take a genius to see what you're doing right here by saying you don't care about him. Blah, 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 blah. But do you? Do you care? Because all you're doing is stirring up gossip and bullshit drama. So how is it that you care so much? It doesn't seem like you care. It really doesn't. The only person that you care about is yourself. And just like someone just said in the comment section, your investment.
You don't care about Letitia. You don't care about her health. Because you would rather have more subs and you would rather be a bully and be ugly on YouTube.
So is this the way that you look like a victim, Molly? The person who doxed my moderator and has a picture of her house as your thumbnail? Are you saying that you are somehow the victim and you're innocent and that you're being bullied? You are describing yourself. You started all of this You're the one who started all this mess. Everything that is surrounded around Ms. Letitia, all of this drama, you started it. Because let's be clear here. We all heard you giving Ms. Letitia advice. Okay, for one. You started all this drama simply because I said a report was real. And from then on, what did you do? You came in here being the freaking washed up wannabe reality star that you are, causing all this drama and commotion. I'm unsubscribing because you hurt Ms. Letitia. Meanwhile, you're looking like an idiot because Ms. Letitia's in here saying that the report is real. Because Ms. Letitia is a woman of God. She's not going to lie for you. It's a stupid reason to lie. Period. For one, so you started all of this. Running your mouth, then you go live and start talking about trans women and that I'm a man and say Robbie told you that I am and blah 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 blah. You started this. Now, and you're still constantly talking about, oh, her makeup and this and that. Listen, jealousy is an ugly disease.
When she was this pretty Asian.
Get well soon. All of the women that you talk about, science girl, makeup mobster, all of the women that you continuously bash, it's just projection. You wanted to trigger me. You thought it was going to trigger me, but it didn't. Because what did I do after you're sitting there saying all of these things about me, all of these horrible things? I get on here and I prove you wrong about the palettes and about you, because you just go on and on and on and you lie so much that it's like word vomit. Like you just lie so much. You literally, I think you forget about the things that you lie about, because first you said I said you were racist a long time ago when you came up on my panel with BX. Then I debunked that. Then you changed your story. Like how many times are you going to change your story until you figure out that maybe the best thing to do is to keep your fucking mouth shut? Because I'm not going to go back and forth with you about petty things when it comes to looks. Because once you start talking about looks, you lose all arguments with me. You have no credibility with me, which you never had any credibility to begin with. But it's pointless. Once you start talking about looks, it's a wrap. That shows more about you than it does about me. But you wanted me to flip out, and then that causes more drama. No, I'm not going to flip out. I'm going to talk about facts. I'm going to bring up shit that is proven that you have done. I'm going to bring up shit that I have proof of to prove you wrong of your stupid lies that you continuously perpetuate. I hope Ms. Letitia is done with her, Leisha. I do. I really, really do. Because this is not a woman that you would want to represent you. A woman that can just blatantly talk about, trans women, the LGBTQ community. And why would you want someone like this to be a spokesperson for you? The fact that, Ms. Letitia, she doesn't know anything about social media or anything like that. The fact that she was speaking for you to begin with was very questionable, obviously. But now, how much more is it that this woman is going to do before people understand? No, this is not a good representation. She's not a good representation for Ms. Letitia at all. So I do hope that she does. I'm not saying that she will. And if she doesn't, that's her choice. But I pray for Ms. Letitia. I really do, because I just feel like, if you want to, there's a way that this can be settled. I feel like there's a way that everybody can talk things through and come to a common ground, and, and everything works for everybody. But it's not going to happen as long as she is the voice for Ms. Letitia. It's just not. That's just my opinion. You guys can tell me what you think about that. But I just feel like It's just my opinion. Hold on, you guys. Okay. Let's continue. We're almost done here with this, and then we'll watch a little bit of what I want to show you and just give you, what happened with Melissa Schumer, and then that's it. So 1 second here.
I'm going to continue to stand up for Letitia and her family. And I'm going to continue to pray for Marvan's safety and his healing. But I'm getting actually very weak because I've never prayed so hard for another human being that it makes me physically weak.
You're seriously so dramatic. Like, oh my God, I never prayed so hard for another human being. It makes me physically weak. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, everything has to be so extra with her. Like, everything has to just be the extra mile. Like, oh my God, I'm so physically weak because I've just been praying so much for her. Please. Girl, bye. If you cared so much for Miss Letitia, you wouldn't be doing this now. You shouldn't want yourself to be the only person standing for Miss Letitia. But that's what you want. But that's not going to change anything for me.
It's so hard for another human being that it makes me physically weak. I hope he's okay too. I'm not a racist. She called me one. But when she accepted my money, she didn't call me a racist. There's actually one of her videos where she said a year ago, Molly, I definitely don't money. She didn't call me a racist. I'm not a racist. She called me one. But when she accepted my money, she didn't call me a racist. There's actually one of her videos where she said a year ago, Molly, I definitely don't believe that you're a racist. She said that.
What the hell is wrong with her? No, wait a second. Okay. Let me tell you something, okay? You coming in here giving me super chats, we were cordial then, okay? That doesn't mean that I had my reservations about you, because I did, but we were cordial then. But didn't you just say a year ago when you were on my panel that me and BX were calling you a racist? Which one is it? So now you just said right here that a year ago I said you weren't. Lord have mercy. Lord, please help this woman. Lord. I mean, you lie so much that you can't even keep up with your lies, sweetheart. You literally just said that when you went onto BX's panel that I was calling you a racist. Now you're saying that I didn't. Which one is it? And of course, I'm not going to deny a super chat, okay? And I don't know many creators that would, including yourself. Unirock can come in your chat and give you a super chat. And I guarantee you, Molly, you would accept it.
Well, last night I was. You're never going to grow. If you're going to do your channel like that and be ugly and do people dirty like that, and the way you treated Goose, I mean, that.
Let me tell you something. Let's be clear on this. I'm never going to grow if I continue to get involved with creators like you. Okay? That's the only way that I'm never going to grow. You want to know why? Because it's selfish pieces of crap creators like you that purposely surround yourself with smaller creators to dictate their channel. Okay? And then the moment they have a voice of their own and they don't let you dictate their channel anymore, or they go against your narrative, or they do something as simple as disagree with you, the first thing you're going to do is say, I'm pulling my support and I want you guys to do it too. Yes, that's how I'm never going to grow. Getting involved with horrible people like you. You are the last one to talk about you're never going to grow, because the only way that you have grown, and the only reason why you have grown, is because you have surrounded yourself around drama, which we call it crama, pretending to talk about true crime, but purposely making it about drama. Even though it is true crime, you're making it about drama. That's how you've grown, okay? By capitalizing off of victims. You're a trauma pimp. That's how you've grown. You're right. I will never grow. Okay? I will never grow being even just cordial with people like you, because the sad part about it is we weren't friends. We've never spoken before. Okay? We have literally never spoken ever. I'm pretty sure I would have to pay you to do that anyway, but we've never spoken, but yet you're so offended of the fact that I went against something that you tried to perpetuate. Oh, well, you're showing your true colors, not mine. But the last person I would take when it comes to advice, the last person's advice that I would take on growing my channel is yours. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to grow my channel the right way. And the only thing that has ever set me back from growing my channel is ever getting even a little bit involved with people like you. And the only way I was ever involved with you is because we shared a mutual friend. It was that simple. And because you like the fact that you were looking like a victim because of the things that Without a Crystal Ball was doing, you like that fact. So it's go over to Teaya's channel, do this, do that. But did I ever want you to? Hell no. Because I knew that ultimately it would have ended up just like this. Does it break me? Hell no. I'm still going. I'm still standing. I don't care. But the point is that anybody who would give me advice about growing, you're the last person that should be doing it. You are the last person. I would never want to grow my channel like yours. I would never want to be public enemy number one to so many people and to hurt so many people and to have that type of reputation. Hell no. Which is why I chose to tell the truth to the people who support me. You, on the other hand, choose to lie to the people who support you. And I'm not talking about one time you lie. Every day you get on your channel and you lie and you tell lie after lie after lie. There is no transparency with you. Nobody knows if you're telling the truth or if you're being real. Nobody knows. They're just too afraid to question you. Because they're afraid that you're going to do the exact same thing that you did to my moderator, which is dox them and put their personal information out there. But yet I'm supposed to take advice from somebody like you? Girl, bye.
I was really cold. And what you did to my Patreon, you said that you were going to do a giveaway to your subs. That woman spent a lot of money on that stuff. And she's very, very generous. And you said, when you got it, she said, oh, hell no, I'm keeping this shit for myself. Well, guess what?
Yet another lie that was debunked. Do you really think, are you really that idiotic that you think that that woman spent money on all of these pallets to send to me for a giveaway? Do you really think that? What person in their right mind would do something like that anyway? Why would she buy palettes just to give to me, a person that she don't even know? And if that's the case, then why did she also send palettes to Goose? Why is that? Why did she send palettes to her as well? As I've said before, and I'll say it again, this woman was an admin for bigger creators on Facebook. Facebook beauty influencers. She would email for those Facebook beauty influencers. She would email different makeup brands and ask for to be on their PR list. She did a lot. Okay. And her gifts were palettes. She doesn't wear makeup that much anymore. So she has so much makeup that she chose to send it to me and Goose. Simple as that. And if you want to talk about the giveaway, first of all, the giveaway, and it's a giveaway. I say giveaway because that's how YouTube, it's a long story. But anyway, the giveaway isn't until I reach 6,000. So how did I keep the palettes for myself? Now, am I giving away all these palettes? Hell no. And I already told her that. How are you going to sit there and say, you sound just idiotic, when I showed the proof that when I get to 6,000, we're doing a giveaway? But why do you care? This is my channel. It's none of your damn business. Because I think you had a plan. That's what I think. And absolutely right. Silence is complicity. Because at the end of the day, she could have easily came out and said something. And so could our mutual friend. But they choose not to. Now, I understand it could be because they're scared. Absolutely. But in that same sense, it's still complicit. And it's wrong. Especially when you know the truth and you're letting her lie like a rug. Yes, she continues to lie and tell lie after lie after lie. But if it's something as simple as you speaking up and saying, hey, I sent her those palettes to do whatever the fuck she wants to with them. You are just as much as a coward as she is. And that's just my opinion. It was completely innocent. It was an act of kindness. And for her to take it and twist it and totally turn it into something that's malicious and evil is disgusting to me. But at the end of the day, this is my channel and I'll do what I want to. You worry about your channel and I'll sit over here and worry about mine. How about that? If I knew I had told so many lies that were being aired out, I'd be hiding my lying ass off somewhere else. I agree, Sparkle. But you keep lying about that. You keep lying about those palettes. And I don't care how much you lie on it. But the point is that every time you lie, I'm still going to debunk you because you sound absolutely ridiculous. Now, like I said, I do think there was a plan. I think there was a plan all along coming from her side. And that's why she continues to keep talking about it. But even if I was doing a giveaway or I am doing a giveaway, the giveaway hasn't happened yet because I'm not at 6,000 yet. And when I get to 6,000, that is when that will happen. But to sit there and say that that lady, now it's a new narrative. The lady bought all these palettes for Goose and I. She bought them all. Why would she do that? That makes no sense. You sound ignorant.
It was after that the woman joined my Patreon. Now, Goose doesn't even want me talking about you. She just wants to move on. But she was crying. And this is like a week ago.
If Goose doesn't want you talking about the situation, which I could see why Goose wouldn't want you talking about it. If she doesn't want you talking about it, then why are you talking about this if Goose is your friend? But what's funny to me is you keep referring to Goose as a Patreon. You're not even calling her a friend. But the point is that you literally just said Goose doesn't even want me talking about it. But here you are talking about it. Like such a good friend. Goose was crying. What is the point of letting everybody know that Goose was crying? Because now you're using Goose to emotionally manipulate your people, your supporters. You will use anybody as long as it benefits you. You're always going to use somebody. And that's why there's no loyalty with you. Because if she doesn't want you talking about it, then you shouldn't be talking about it. I don't think anyone is your friend. Absolutely. You're 100% right. And it's hooked on phonics works for me. Does anyone else kind of think that maybe she could be intentionally acting like she's sick for attention because she didn't go to the neurologist? It's just something I've been thinking about. I didn't know that she was sick. Goose is a manipulator, period. I agree, Sparkle. And why does MGL even know about the pallets? Why would Goose have been crying to MGL? Why would Goose tell her if she didn't want it mentioned? She told Justin and others. I agree. It's sad when you find out that a person is the way that they are. But you're right. She wouldn't know anything about it unless she told her. And here she is twisting it and turning it to fit her narrative, to emotionally manipulate her audience. And I think it's disgusting because you're using not yet another person to perpetuate your false narratives. Okay. Because if she don't want you talking about it, then why talk about it? But I do think that there was a plan right from the beginning. Absolutely. Dave, why would Goose want them sent to just her, then say it was to protect Teaya? It's BS. I agree. I know that, trust me, it's good to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I try very hard to give people the benefit of the doubt. But the point is that doesn't make any sense, especially someone who's so protective over her privacy, which is understandable. You should be protective over your privacy. Someone who's very protective over her privacy, the way that she is, I just found that very questionable that she would save me and risk herself. I don't think that she did that out of the kindness of her heart. I think that there was a motive behind that. And I thank God that this woman reached out to me. And there's also other things that I know that you guys don't know. You know what I'm saying? You guys don't know everything. That is very questionable. But the point is that the whole thing is questionable, even up until the point of if you were to even say something like that to this woman, you said it for a reason, because you wanted it out there. You wanted to look like a victim. And you wanted to make it seem like that I got these pallets for my own selfish reasons. And that's wrong on so many levels. And I'm just not that type of person. I have so much makeup that it's ridiculous. So I could be with or without these pallets and be perfectly fine, even though I am very, very much grateful that she sent them to me.
And she did tell a couple of us. Just everybody, just imagine getting a text message out of the blue saying, imagine if I sent this to you. Who's got a wrench here? I'm going to do this to who's my good friends here. Let's just pick Little Texas Tornado, since she's up here. Little Texas Tornado, I want to ask you how you would feel if I sent you a random text and said, don't be surprised if you wake up tomorrow morning and your wrench is gone.
And of course, there she is telling half the story, or unless that's the story that she was told. That was not a random text message. As I told you guys very, very much throughout my life, I have learned to be very transparent with my moderators. I'm not talking about throughout my life. I want to be honest regardless, but what I've learned is it's very important that if you're feeling some type of way, instead of going to somebody else, you need to go straight to that person. Okay. So if I have a problem with Sparkle, I'm going straight to her. And if I wake up tomorrow and I see Sparkle on someone's panel, let's just say, I'm just using this as an example, Sparkle, so don't come for me. Let's just say that I wake up tomorrow and Sparkle is on Mega Mouse panel, okay? And while she's on that panel, they are bashing, okay, and saying horrible things to Michelle, okay? Now, let's just say that Sparkle defends Michelle and says, this is wrong. You guys shouldn't be saying these types of things. They're bringing up Michelle's deceased baby, saying some very, very horrible things. And let's just say Sparkle did stick up, and did say, hey, don't be saying that, but still stayed up there on panel. Now, I have a problem with that. So I would go to Sparkle and I would say, Sparkle, yes, I heard you. You may have defended Michelle, but after you defended her, you should have left. You should not have stayed up there while they were saying those disgusting things to that woman, because even though you may have been defending her, you're still complicit because you're sitting up there with them while they're doing it. And that was the problem. And that was where that conversation stemmed from. When that happened, I went directly to Goose and I spoke with her about it, and we went back and forth, and I said, look, and this is the time where I was very, very blunt with her, more than I ever have been before when it came to Megamouth, because I definitely was one of those people, like I said, was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt behind the scenes. And I definitely had, Goose very much in defense of Megamouth and saying how she gives to charity and all of the things that she's done, pretty much making Molly look like a victim. So, however, I chose to sit back and watch and observe myself. And that was the first time that I was ever really blatantly vocal. I would say things here and there and ask her questions, but this time I was like, there's no excuse for this shit anymore. There's no excuse for the things that she's saying to Michelle. There's no excuse. I don't give a shit how much she gives to charity. That doesn't exclude her, okay? Okay, that just doesn't. It doesn't erase, and it does everything that she does that may be good. The bad stuff that she does overpowers it. You cannot sit here and make excuse after excuse for this woman. You just can't do that type of stuff. So because she would make excuses after excuses for this woman, I told her, I said, do not be surprised one day if you wake up and you don't have your wrench, because I'm confiding in you now. I'm letting you know now. I'm being 100 with you. And I'm telling you, being involved with this woman, I don't want any parts of her. She is not a good person. That was the time when it really started being very clear to me that there's no benefit of the doubt when it comes to this woman. She's just not a good person. So yes, I did say that to her, but it wasn't randomly. It was because we were having conversations back and forth. But of course, this is what Molly does.
After all the support, Daniel, how would you feel if after all the support, Daniel, how would you feel if I sent you a random message after all the support that you have given me? If I just randomly came out, Juju, how would you feel? You want to know something? Goose is probably really upset right now. And I know that Goose doesn't want this talked about, but the fact that this is beyond Goose. This has nothing. Goose is like, and I know that Goose doesn't want this talked about, but the fact that this is beyond Goose.
So there was obviously a reason why this was being rewinded. And it was being rewinded because if Goose doesn't want this talked about, then why do you keep talking about it? Isn't that your friend? That's supposed to be your friend, right? And I can tell you right now, behind the scenes, Goose has always had Mega Mouse back. Always. Even knowing that she's wrong. To stand next to somebody like this, though, I question her from this point I've questioned her from the point I knew that she was a doxer, looking up people's information. But regardless, there's to sit back and make excuses for this woman is unacceptable to me. But regardless, If she doesn't want this to be talked about, then why do you keep talking about it? It speaks volumes of how you treat people, how you throw people under the bus to make yourself look like a victim. Because I can tell you what, right now, if she wasn't talking about this, had she not brought up the pallets and lied, I wouldn't be talking about this either. She's the one that keeps talking about this and throwing this woman and throwing someone who's supposed to be her friend in the middle just to discredit me and make me look like I'm this horrible person. But in the end, you're not doing anything but making Goose look worse. And that's supposed to be your friend. This is somebody that has had your back and always has your back. So why do you continue to keep talking about her in this situation?
This is nothing. Goose is like, let's just let her. She said this last night. Let her find out on her own. She's got those crazy weird girls in there. She'll find out on her own. Blah, 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 blah. Let's just move on with justice for Vaughn.
Let me be clear here, okay? Loyalty has nothing to do with how long you've known someone, okay? I can meet someone tomorrow and they can be more loyal than a person that I've known for years. Okay? Let's just put it that. Let's just keep it real here. I would say that Dave has more loyalty to me than Goose did. I would say that Joanne Toole has more loyalty to me than she did. Sorry, but it's the truth. Anytime that you sit here, and we're going to get to that in a minute, and it's not a long story either, but anytime that you can sit here and tell me that a report is fake, knowing that it's fake, to me, how I take it is you're trying to help Molly, not myself, because that helps Molly to say, or that helps Megamouth, that helps Megamouth to sit there and say, this report is not real. And Ms. Letitia, that's what I'm being told by Goose, where Ms. Letitia is going to make a report against these creators that's putting this police report up and things like that. But how does that help me as your friend? Because I was supposed to be your friend too. And you could have easily told me the truth, or you didn't have to say anything at all. But regardless, you don't know anybody. This isn't about me picking my mods that I have now, which some of the mods that I've had have been here as long as Goose. They're just not as in here. They're not in here as much, but because they have channels. But the point is that this wasn't me picking other people over Goose. That's not what this was. This was me finding out that I was lied to from somebody who I thought was a friend. It has nothing to do with anyone else. Let's be clear on that. But of course, she continues to say this. And to be honest with you, we don't know if she's saying it or not, because she's speaking for her. And we already know how much she lies. She's not going to say that Goose said anything nice about me. But ultimately, yes, just like someone said earlier, I think that was her plan to begin with. I think she never wanted Goose and I to be friends. And her plan worked, but it didn't have to. Okay? If Goose didn't make the decision that she did.
Fine. But honestly, what she did to Letitia, because she's so desperate for subs, because she lost so many, that she's going to take in the girls that are attacking Letitia. I'm sorry, but that's wrong. You don't do that.
Well, here's something, Molly, Earth to however your brain works. Okay. I have no freaking clue. I don't even know if you use it at all, because you don't use much of it. Okay. But what I will say is that I lost subscribers because of you. Okay. But I don't care about that, because they weren't here for me. They were here for you. So why would I want subscribers to be here only because of you. So that means that I'm supposed to bow down to you and do whatever it is that you want me to do, so you don't go and announce to your subscribers to unsubscribe from me. That's not the way it works. Nobody gives a shit about the people who left that weren't here for me. The only person who keeps saying that is you, because you want it to bother me. You want me to be all hot and bothered and triggered. But if it had anything to do with subscribers, trust and believe, I wouldn't be here right now. And what I mean by that is, if I was so concerned and I was so down and out and so pissed off because I lost subscribers, Molly subscribers, you might as well say they're Molly subscribers. They weren't mine. If I was so pissed off, I'd be hiding up in a ball somewhere. You lost Molly subs and you don't need people like her. You won. Less is more in that regard. I agree. And it wasn't even that many. But the point is I don't care about your people. Those are your people. They were only here for you. So if you go out, go ahead, deuces, and take the rest of your people with you. I don't care. But you keep stressing that. And it's because you wanted me to be pissed about that. Pay attention to the things that people focus on the most. Because when they focus on that, that means that that's something that they did purposely because they wanted to hit you where it hurts. I wouldn't doubt that she was having a countdown in her freaking Patreon of how many people were leaving. Her people. But you can have your people. I don't want your people. They can keep their asses right on over there with you. Because I question anyone that would sit there and be a supporter of you and the disgusting human being that you are.
You don't do that. We don't know for sure yet, but you were pretty dang close to.
All right. So I just wanted to do commentary on that because that whole clip was absolutely ridiculous. And sometimes you just got to call things out. And I just thought it was interesting how she kept bringing up Trump. So we're going to talk about a young lady named Melissa Schumann. And with Melissa Schumann, I don't know if you guys remember her, but she's projecting what matters to her onto you. Absolutely, Laura Lee. You nailed it with that. Thank you. That's all she's doing because that's something that she would care about. God forbid that maybe some of the bigger creators that have came in there and to support her have, like, let's just say, for example, Ictamel. Let's just say he announces to his people, listen, I know I've been on Molly's channel and I support her, but please unsubscribe from her. That would bother her. You know what I'm saying? But those things don't bother me because that's not what I'm here for. Like, I am here for quality over quantity. I don't want a whole bunch of people. That's just like perfect example real quick. Today, there was somebody on my community post about Megamouth because she doxed my moderator and I'm pissed off about it still. That's the only thing that triggered me, you guys. That's the only thing I cared about. But she doxed my moderator. I made a community post and somebody on that community post was like, I don't know what's going on, but I had to unsubscribe from her because she's not talking about Without a Crystal Ball anymore. And I liked it when she was talking about Without a Crystal Ball. So I liked it when she was doing her true crime and talking about Without a Crystal Ball. Well, for one, that was unnecessary. What is the point of you coming onto my community post and basically saying that the only reason why you were watching me is because Without a Crystal Ball? And then she said in that comment, I'll just stick with Charlotte. Okay, yes, you should stick with Charlotte because obviously Charlotte talks about Without a Crystal Ball every day for the most part. And that's her channel and that works for her. But that's never how I wanted my channel to be. Just because I'm talking about Without a Crystal Ball, I don't care if it's every day for weeks, doesn't mean that I'm going to be talking about her for years to come. Okay. I've never said that. Okay. I claim to be anti Without a Crystal Ball, but I never said my channel was anti Without a Crystal Ball. So I don't know where you get those assumptions at, but if you seriously were only here for that, then I don't want you as a sub anymore. So you unsubscribe, make sure you stay unsubscribed. So when I do decide to talk about Without a Crystal Ball again, because I will, she's still problematic, don't come back on my channel, stay gone. And I made sure I told her that, because you don't subscribe to somebody for that. You subscribe to somebody because you like the way they commentate on things. You like the way they keep it real. You like the way you like their personality, things like that. That's why you subscribe to somebody. You don't subscribe to somebody simply because they're talking about one person. I have never ever claimed that I was Without a Crystal Ball channel. Never. And just because I'm talking about her, now that I'm talking about another problematic creator, you unsubscribe. Well, you weren't a loyal subscriber to begin with, and you can take a hike and never come back. Okay? I read that Teaya talks about everything and anything like we do in the chat, and it's why we love it here. Oh, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. She didn't have to unsubscribe. She should have just watched what she wanted and waited until you do or post content she enjoys. Absolutely, Albay. That's what I said. Like, you didn't have to unsubscribe. You could have just said, okay, well, I'll just, wait until she talks. So for you to say that, don't ever come back, because that's not right. I've never said that, and I'm never going to be like that. I'm never just going to talk about one person, no matter how long I'm focusing on one creator. It doesn't mean that that creator is going to be the only thing I talk about. Okay? So if you're here for that, that's ridiculous. Of course, I'm going to talk about Without a Crystal Ball. And she's like, well, you were doing Without a Crystal Ball versus creators. Yes. And I'll do it again. But right now, I'm not. It's that simple. You didn't have a problem when I was talking about Without a Crystal Ball for weeks. But because she's like, you've been talking about Molly this whole entire week. Okay. She has been talking about me this whole entire week. That's why I've been reacting to her and the things I feel are necessary to react to. But what's your point? If you're here for me, you're here for me. But that's just like the perfect example. So Melissa Schumann is the reason why Mega Mouth started her channel. Okay, so if you don't know who Melissa Schumann is, do you guys remember that song? How does it go? It was a girl group started by P. Diddy. P. Diddy discovered this girl group. I came here for Without a Crystal Ball tea, but I stayed because I really like your commentary. I like how you stick up for the right people. I like how you don't give a fuck about likes and subs and money. You're a real one. Oh, thank you so much. Kemi? I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, sweetie. I can hardly see it. It looks like Kenya. I could be wrong. I apologize, but thank you. I appreciate that. Molly's insecurities are at an extreme level. Her desperation from it is almost dangerous. I agree 100%. You guys are always spot on, though. So it was a girl group started by P. Diddy. Let me see if I can look it up. I'm going to look up this group. Okay, what the hell were they called? Hold on. I don't think I can play it. Wait a minute. No, I didn't even go on YouTube yet. Okay. Dream. That's it. Remember, how does it go? I cannot play it because no matter what you do, he's never gonna be with you. He's into what he's got. He loves me. He loves you not. You guys remember that song? That's her. I'm gonna pull it up, but I'm not gonna play the them. I put it on pause. No, I will. I'll play a second of it. You guys remember them? That's her, right? Hold on. That's her. That's Melissa Schumann. Okay, so she was in this group Dream. This was started by P. Diddy, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. And Making the Band, yes. And that's Melissa Schumann. So this is the person who we're going to talk about and we're going to touch on today of why Megamouth started her channel. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, I just had to grab something real quick. All right, so I am going to, because I don't even want to play it, but I do love that song. I used to love that freaking song. Like, I used to bump that song. So I found you from MGL because you were on the panel. Hold on, let me read this comment. I found you from MGL because you were on the panel. That day I subbed to you immediately because I loved your realness. Since then, I've unsubbed from MGL and Justice for my own reasons. Well, I appreciate you, Selena. Everybody's welcome here, but I'm glad that you've seen things for what it truly is. And it is such a pleasure to have you here. You've always been here. And I appreciate your support and sticking with me. I really do. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It really does, because so many people, could have left, and some did and some didn't. And I'm very, very, very grateful to the ones that chose to not be blind and follow the masses. It's not always easy to do. Thank you, Billy Martin. You always have a great stream and chat. I come from my fellow insomniacs. Amen. Okay, so Melissa Schumann, she was in the group Dream, and now I'm going to pull out something else. So Burnt Toast obviously is amazing. I think she tells this the best as far as how this started, and I just want you guys to see a little bit of what she had to say. I sub to you because you spoke your truth. Thank you, Smiles. I'm glad you're here. Yes, this song was my jam. I remember I used to sing that, like, even though I was very young and I was in a relationship, when different girls would try to. I think you guys remember when you would have a voicemail where we had the pagers and you would call the voicemail and you hear the songs on the voicemail. That song used to be on my voicemail. All right, so let me bring up Burnt Toast really quickly. And her channel will be linked in the description. Most of you guys know her because she's amazing. And I love her commentary. And she keeps it real as well. Okay, let me make sure that I find this. Is this still on? Okay. And how I found Burnt Toast was, I think, a while ago through John Crimes, which I like John Crimes. So wait a minute, did I go too far? I don't think I went too far. Hold on, you guys. She has a lot of content about Megamouth, like a lot. And like I said, she still covers her, but not as much as she used to, which is understandable. There's other problematic creators. So she talks about that. So hold on as I go through all this content. Okay, I found it.
Apparently,
Okay, let me share my screen. So let me go to the specific part.
this is her. She has a channel and she did a whole blog. I can get you the it's very lengthy, but this is one of the things that I think that people should be aware. Now, for some of you, you're going to be like, oh, I already knew about this. This was so 2018. Well, it's new to me. And it's new to all the people in the Pls Call community where I.
Okay, so I also think this is important to say too. There's a lot of people that already know about this, and I understand that. But you guys have to remember that there are some people who don't, and there's a lot of new people who have no idea. And I remember this was probably maybe a week ago. I remember seeing a clip of Mega Mouth telling this story, and it's her perspective, and we all know what a huge liar she is, right? So because she's such a huge liar, I do think that it's important that it be brought up again because it's new to me. Okay, it's very new to me. I never knew. I only knew Mega Mouse side of the story, and for some other people, they don't know. So if you know about this, then it's something that's going to refresh your memory, and for others, exactly, there's a lot of people, newer people that really don't know much about Burnt Toast channel, but they're going to find out. Okay, so I'm going to play some more.
I come from, and it's new to a lot of people that are new to Molly that are telling me that she's such a great person and she would never do anything bad to anyone. Okay, so we're going to listen to a woman named.
And another thing too, I cannot stress to you guys how much I was told that Molly was a good person. Okay, how much I was told of how much money she gives to charities, and how I was always told the things that were being done to her. Like somebody had told me once that somebody called her son's school, which is horrible. That's horrible. Okay, but somebody did tell me that, and I don't condone that type of behavior regardless. But then you have to think it was never told the other side. Anytime I would ask her, like there was a moderator that she called out, she didn't have her wrench, and I guess that she has autism, and she was called out and made to look like this ridiculous person and that she didn't pay and all these types of things and lying on this moderator. This was just a few weeks ago, and I would ask about that story. I'd be like, well, what happened? Why did she do this to this moderator? And it was always an excuse. It was always the other person's fault. But one thing to keep in mind here, you guys, is there's always three sides to every story. Hers, yours, theirs. Okay. Everybody has a side, hers, yours, the truth. And there was always an excuse with everything with her. And it also gives me a perspective on how people look at her and why other people make excuses for her. Most of these people, and it sucks to say this, but most of these people who support MGL, they support her because they're fans. And I definitely find myself, and I'm not comparing her to a celebrity at all. She's not, but to them, she is. And they make these excuses for her because they stand for her. They don't see her as doing anything wrong. So there's always an excuse. Like I was always told, this is my saying, okay? I've always said this. I don't understand why moderators, okay, get so mad sometimes when they lose their wrench, because they act like getting a key is like, they act like being a moderator, getting a wrench is like getting a key to the fucking White House. And it's not that serious. If you're my friend, you're here for me. You're not here just to have a wrench. And the reason why I say that is because this has been said a few times with Goose, and it has been said with this particular woman who was complaining about not having her wrench. Well, she paid for it, didn't she? So she should have it. So, and I remember this was said by Goose on her panel, but this was still not Molly's fault. Nothing has ever, there's always an excuse. They're like cult members. I agree.
Named Melissa. She was in a girl band back in the day. And long story short, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys sexually assaulted her. And this is her. She has a channel and she did a whole blog. I can get you the, it's very lengthy, but it's worth.
Sorry, you guys, I forgot to mute it. But one thing I want to say is trigger warning. There are things in here that's, you know, her Melissa's story. It's about SA. So I just want to give a trigger warning for those who may be triggered by this. Maybe not watch this because it could definitely trigger you. Okay. So I'm going to put a trigger warning up here really quick. And then we'll continue.
Reading. It's heartbreaking. And those of you who have experienced something like that are going to relate to her story. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And so this is the story about how Molly really started her YouTube channel. Okay, this is what
for those that's asked if I have Melissa's video, she's gonna play it right now.
Why she actually started it. The title of this woman's video is called "How Molly Golightly Started Her Channel." My story, Melissa Schumann, October 24th, 2018. Okay, so this is trigger warning, folks. But if we're going to be honest with ourselves, we have to face reality. This is one of many reasons why people don't fucking like her. Let me say it another way. People aren't not liking her because of petty bullshit reasons. The bulk of the people that think that she's a piece of shit is because of pretty major things like this. And I was shocked when I found this video and it only had a very small number of views on it. That's really sad to me. And so I want to do my part spreading this information because this woman needs and should be absolutely heard. So again, trigger warning.
I'm Melissa Schumann and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to respond for the first time, almost a year, speaking out against a lot of the attacks that I endured over the last 11 months.
So this right here was from Molly Golightly. The unredacted one is on my thumbnail for a reason.
Molly Megamouth, her reputation speaks for itself. But you guys have to understand that YouTube evolves. There's always going to be new people. Okay? Especially off of the Justice for Vaughn story. There's always going to be new people. And with new people, they have no clue except for what she tells them. Now, would it have turned this way had she not started talking about me and slandering my name and constantly throwing me under the bus and all that stuff? No, I would have still ended up talking about it. But the point, I think God brings you to points for a reason. And even with my moderators were very, very, very clear of the fact that I think they've always known that, Megamouth is a very toxic person. But nobody knows, like, who tells somebody to die already? Who says that to another human being? Megamouth. Let's continue.
Just on this alone, saying this to an SA victim, please explain to me why this is a good person. I am genuinely curious as to why you think this is okay to say to anyone. I would never even say this to Molly. I would not say this to Betty. I would not say this to any of these people that are on my channel, ever. And I will be putting the link to this in my description so that you guys can go watch.
I will also be putting the link to Melissa's to this exact video so you guys can watch the whole entire thing. But another thing that I do want to say is that you don't say that to another human being, period. Especially someone who went through SA. However, Megamouth doesn't believe that Melissa went through SA. So I think that that would be her logic. That is MGL's logic, her justification as to why she does the things that she does. But regardless, who says this to anyone? Anyone, period. And also, Burnt Toast, we're cool, we're cordial, we talk sometimes. Like, I always reach out to her, and she has very blatantly told me if I ever need help with anything. That's where she's at. That's what type of woman she is. She's absolutely amazing. And she wants more people talking about this because she's talking about other things. She started bringing awareness for a year about all of this stuff. So now she talks about other creators. And that's why she told me you can use any of my content. You can spread the word as much as you can. And she also told me that she would help me if I ever needed any help when it comes to other things. So I just wanted to let you guys know that she's very, very supportive for anyone else who wanted to bring awareness to these types of things. Okay?
You for yourself. Just look at all of the harassment she was getting online. See what that says? Just think about that.
Primarily a lot of Backstreet Boys fanatics. One in particular who doesn't claim to be a fan, but clearly is a fan.
Right there, she's talking about Megamouth. Okay? Because I guess Megamouth says she's not a fan. Obviously, she is, because she went really, really hard for Nick Carter when it came to all of this. So
she's talking about Molly Golightly, by the way.
I did a brave thing by writing in a very detailed blog the night in which I was sexually assaulted. These women did everything they could to, I guess, try to prove that I am a liar. I'm not a liar. This one particular YouTube, her entire demeanor to me is incredibly catty, soulless, delusional. You know who you are. You've tried to contact me and my family numerous times, which we have refused to engage with you.
Yes. So again, Molly Golightly was trying to contact her family. It's the same old bullshit that she does now.
who does that, you guys? Who goes to the extremes because you don't like someone or you stand for somebody to contact someone appellant's family. That needs to be thought about, definitely.
Molly has been doing this for years. Years and years and years. Let me see, somebody got timed out.
Has grown her channel based off of disseminating lies and false information. I've had a few people reach out to me asking me to answer some of the additional details that this YouTuber has put out into the cyber world of what happened the night that I was assaulted. The detailed account that this YouTuber has put out is so erroneous and so false that I don't even know how to address some of the questions, because a lot of the details that she asserted herself are never happened.
What does that sound like, folks? The same stuff she's doing with all of these cases, where she speculates and gossips and talks shit about the family. She decides who's guilty and who's not, and then she just makes things up and repeats it and repeats it, and then her sycophants and her streams repeat it, and the next thing you know, you're having people like Chasing Truth and these other legitimate true crime channels having to dispel lies, just the basics of the case, because there's so much.
And I feel like that describes Megamouth completely. It's like once she starts talking about something, a story, another person that she doesn't like, whatever it is, it's like she makes such a mess out of everything that you're constantly trying to debunk things that she says. Now, when it comes to true crime, I can understand people trying to debunk things because it makes it confusing to your audience. So you want to try to debunk and say, wait a minute, this is not true. And those lies could be told when it comes to true crime. They could be told from her just for fabrication, just to cause more drama surrounded around it. That's why the word crama was even created. So it's like, I found that a lot with her. Like, you can talk about my looks, you can talk about anything, because at the end of the day, you can never hold a candle to me, no matter what. I'm running circles around you. But when it comes to things like talking about the palettes, I felt like that's something that's easily debunked, so I'm going to debunk that. But she just causes such a mess out of things that you feel like you have to constantly debunk the things that she says, because the lies that are told are blatant lies that are just absolutely ridiculous. And they change as she goes. The more she lies, the more they change. The lie changes from one lie to the next.
Misinformation going around about what happened and what didn't happen. This is what she did. This was the start of Molly Golightly's channel.
I really did for a moment think that, okay, I'll address some of the questions. One particular detail, especially,
was the guy found guilty by a court. Unfortunately, the statute of limitations had run out. And they didn't say that basically there was a lot of evidence there, but unfortunately they could not do anything because it had run out. And we're going to watch how Molly reacted the day that she found out that an SA victim was not going to be allowed to have her day in court to give testimony. It was, again,
Also, another thing too, I don't know if that's true or not. I have heard her tell that story too. about that she was intimate with Nick Carter. I heard that story. I don't know if it's true or not, though. I mean, she lies so much, I don't see how anybody can believe anything that she says. However, she says that she was intimate with him. And at that time, I guess Nick Carter was 17 and she was 22. Just know that's out there, and it has definitely came from her mouth. Okay. And there has been many clips out there that she has said that. But do we know if she's telling the truth?
I'm anxious to hear the excuses that are going to come out of people's mouths for this.
To me was disgusting was the insertion of a condom, whether or not a condom was used. It would make sense to use a condom when you're having consensual sex. No consensual sex was had. I was raped. Who rapes with the condom on? And the fact that I'm even being questioned about this particular detail, to me, is sick. I think that those who care about it are greatly disturbed. And I want to encourage you to go see a therapist and seek mental health. I just want you guys to really think about whether or not this person was really telling you guys real stuff, which she wasn't, or if she was manipulating you guys and using you guys to grow her numbers. If I were you guys, I'd go back to her and I'd demand proof. Is this turning into a trend on YouTube? For those of you who watch YouTube, who are engaged in YouTube, who are watching kind of how people's channels are growing, is this sort of malicious sort of content becoming more and more popular and growing more rapidly? Because I don't believe.
I think that's a good question to ask, and I think it has been proven that this type of content is growing rapidly. You know what I mean? Why do you think that Mega Mouth does the content that she does? Why do you think that there's so much drama surrounded around it? Because she knows that that's what's going to bring in the views, right?
If that anybody should be supporting a channel that is essentially attacking and slandering somebody. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care what information you think that you have unfolded. When you're talking about somebody, a real person, I'm a real person with a real life, with real family, and you're going to go and attack me as viciously as you have and claim that the man who assaulted me when I was 18 years old, that somehow him and his family or a source close to him is giving you permission to disseminate this information. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And it.
Yeah. So what she's talking about is basically Molly's got on her YouTube channel and started bragging about how she's really close friends with Nick Carter's wife. And I have a screenshot of her and of Molly and Nick Carter's wife hanging out. And so then she started talking about how basically Nick Carter's wife was feeding her all of this information. And so what was happening is Nick Carter's wife was feeding Molly information, and then Molly would go on her YouTube channel and run her mouth and gossip and spread the rumor even further. That, folks, is how Molly started her channel.
And that's also how she operates too. Because what I've noticed is whenever I debunk something that she says, okay, whenever I debunk something that Mega Mouth says, someone will come onto my channel, okay, and they'll come into my comment section. They'll wait until my live stream is over. They'll come into my comment section and they'll always say the complete opposite of what I'll be saying. One person came into my comment section that is a stand for her when I was talking about the pallets. And she said, well, this lady wanted to promote her business, and her business is pallets, and your job was to promote her pallets, and you just took the pallets without promoting her. I said, what? That's not this woman's business. What are you talking about? But the only reason why she did that was to see how far she could go with that particular comment. She was told to put that in. I'm guarantee you she was told to put that comment on there. There's no way that she could have gotten that from watching my live stream of just simply debunking the things that MGL was saying. She literally came into there and made sure she put that to see how other people would respond to it, and to see if it was going to trigger me and I was just going to flip out, and then other people were going to just basically to question things in people's mind about what they just saw on my live stream. And I do believe that that's something that she does. She will literally say anything. And I've said this about Katie Joy. She will literally just start throwing shit on a wall, and whatever sticks is what works. Period. She will say anything and make sure that she creates this mob mentality, so they just perpetuate the rumors that she's trying to spread.
And so all she's done now is she has just used those same tactics in true crime with cases where she will somehow find a disgruntled friend, a disgruntled ex-employee, as in Dudley. Sound familiar? And then she uses this these false information, half-truths, rumors, gossips, speculations, and spreads it as if it is fact on her YouTube channel. And then the actual facts get so jumbled with all of the other bullshit that the audience is left not really knowing what's going on.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And she doesn't just do that with true crime. I think she does it in general. When she is trying to perpetuate a narrative and save herself from people looking at her for who she truly is and trying to discredit someone else, these are the tactics that she uses. Those comments were planted in my comment section for a reason. And that reason was, let me confuse her audience. Okay? Even though that's not anywhere near close to what I said, let me confuse her audience, and it just puts all kinds of questionable things in their mind. And it's not about using critical thinking, it's about perpetuating her false narratives. It's a tactic that most people like her use.
So again, this is a pattern. This is not just something she just decided to do.
Shouldn't be tolerated. And I feel like we live in a time with the Me Too movement, and many survivors of all kinds of injustice and abuse are finally speaking out that your example is dangerous. It is concerning. It is disgusting. And I don't want people following in your footsteps. I've been threatened with alleged emails of me bragging about having sex with my abuser multiple times. That made its rounds around the internet. Never happened. And to all the people involved in his side too, you guys are terrible people. Terrible what you guys have done.
That's Molly trying to talk to this woman's husband.
Does that sound familiar? Isn't she trying to talk to Michelle's husband? And absolutely, Kennedy. That's what Mega Mouth stands were doing in Charlotte's chat yesterday. People were accusing you of doing crazy shit. And even Charlotte was like, I don't think that's true. I'll do my own research. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. They will literally go and try to plant things in people's chats, so they will take it and run away with it. And that's what they do in my chat as well. They will come into my chat and just say something completely outrageous with hopes that someone will be like, really? I never thought of it that way. Even though they just watched on my channel me showing proof. It is a tactic that is done by manipulative people like her.
Put yourself in this woman's shoes. You have something horrific happened to you. You were too scared to say anything because you were like 18 years old. So it becomes this like horrible secret. Then years later, you finally have the courage to say something, to warn other people, and you have Molly Golightly threatening you. But please, tell me why she's a great person.
I mean, I don't even know. It's like people collecting evidence and then filling in the gaps with their own narrative.
That could be exactly what we see Molly doing right now with all of these cases. That's literally what she's still doing. That's what Bullhorn Betty does, JLR, Olivia, all of these scumbags. That's what all of them do. They have quote unquote evidence, and then they fill in the blank with what they think happened. And then they run with it as if it is fact.
That's all you guys did. If my testimony was falsified.
And I think that is another thing too. It's almost as if you assume that everyone else is like your supporters and they are just going to ignorantly take off, not do any research, and just take your word as if your word is the truth. When that's not what a commentator does anyway. A commentator is supposed to do their own research, their own little investigation. Now, does her audience do that? No. The people who support her? No. And because they don't, she expects that other people won't. It's almost as if, well, she knows she plays on the ignorance of her own supporters. So therefore, she thinks that everyone is going to be ignorant like her supporters. And that's not the way it works. Because if you look at it like this, if you're not going to go along with this, what this woman says, then she has no use for you anymore. Very simple.
If I lied. How stupid could I have been to go to the police and file a police report? Don't you think that the detective on the case and other people attached to the case who interviewed witnesses would have been able to say this is unfounded? Anyone can say anything on the internet. Just like those people, oh, I've got emails, I've got this, I've got that. No, you don't. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I encourage you to go and search the hashtags his side too and Melissa Schumann is a liar. And you'll see 10, 11 months of harassment that I endured online. And it only stopped after the DA dropped the case because of the statute of limitations. And I think that's it. I think that's the end of my video for today. I hope that you guys listened with an open heart. I encourage you to think before you type. And I'd be happy to recommend resources In fact, there's a great organization that I would like to encourage all of you to go check out right now. It is Echo Trauma Training. They specifically educate on trauma in the brain.
If you guys, if anybody would like the link to that, I will track down the link and I will give it to you. So please don't hesitate to DM me, email me, whatever, if you want a link to that. Somebody's telling me to check something. Hold on 1 second. Yes, thank you so much, Meloan. I don't want to show that right now because I don't want that person to get backlash from Molly. But yes, we're actually going to play a video from that in just a second.
It's important, it's imperative, we have a responsibility as a community to educate ourselves on trauma. I think that the more people understand that, the more compassion can grow and we can change and society can be better. All right, guys, that's it for my video for today. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for hearing me. And I will talk to you guys soon.
Do you guys realize how incredibly brave someone has to be to make a video like that? That is like...
I'm sorry if it echoed. What I will say is I would say commend her for even speaking out, because I know how hard that must be to be able to speak out, because at the end of the day, yes, she was in a girl group, but it wasn't as successful as the Backstreet Boys. You know, it's obvious that, you know, Nick Carter, you know, being with the Backstreet Boys, a mega boy band, that is something, it's hard to use your voice and talk about something so serious and so devastating, so traumatic. It's so hard to talk about that, especially against someone who's so successful, someone who has an army behind them, including Megamouth. Okay. So that has to be hard to do. So I 100% commend her and think she's a very strong woman for being able to speak up for herself. And the sad part is that this particular video did not get a lot of views. That's what makes me the most mad. Not compared to the videos that Megamouth was doing. So we're going to play a little bit more.
That takes a lot of courage. I can't even fathom how much strength it took for her to do something like that. Yeah, but you know what, guys? It's okay because Molly donated to a charity. So again, for all of the weirdos that couldn't actually read my post.
Yes, Susie, I did. I didn't see the videos that she's done from the past, but I actually seen her talking about this recently. My guess of her talking about this recently is because when you have a lot of new subscribers, you want to make sure that's what narcissists do. They want to make sure that they tell their version of the story before you get the version of the story yourself. Before you go doing your research or you run into a creator that's covering this story and they're telling the truth, you want to make sure that you tell your version of the story and how it went down. And I remember her speaking about this weeks ago. So, yeah.
And understand what they were reading.
Sorry. And another thing, too, is that is the main excuse that was always given to me. She gives so much to charities. She does charities for St. Jude. She does charities here. She does charities there. And it's like, how many times are you going to continue to say that and use it as an excuse for the horrible things that this woman does? Slandering people. And like I told you and continue to say, the only thing that triggered me and pissed me off is that she doxed my mod. And taking advantage of her platform to look up someone's address Go on Google Maps, take a picture of her house and put it as a thumbnail. That's what pissed me off. And that's the only thing that pissed me off.
This is my point. You have somebody who does something like this. It's not suddenly erased just because they do a fundraiser. Just think about it. That doesn't make any sense, considering she's still continuing to do the bad behavior. Yes. I don't. Could one of my mods get the link to Echo? Let me see if I can go back to see what the this screenshot was. Wait, I think it was back here. So Echo, let me see if I can get the website for that. Right, guys, I probably should have looked for that.
Thank you for saying that, Dave. Thank you so much for saying that. Do you also know who gives to charities? Jeffrey Epstein, he gave to charities. Harvey Weinstein, he gave to charities. I'm pretty sure, what the hell is that serial killer's name? I can't remember. But bad people give to charities too. Okay? That doesn't justify anything. Just because they gave to charities, does that mean it makes it okay for the bad things that they do?
Okay, cool. Okay, I found the website. All right, so here is the Echo website. Molly found out that the DA did that. She went live on her channel, or she did a video. And this is what she did. This is what she posted. Again, put yourself in Melissa's shoes. Just think about it. Something that horrific happened to you when you were 18 years old. You finally get the courage to do something with it. And then you find out that because of the statute of limitations, you're not ever going to get the justice that you deserve. And then some dipshit like this makes a video about you. Yes, she claims to be a life coach. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's very cringe.
This is the most cringiest video I have ever seen by this woman, and I do not watch her. Here and there, but her evilness radiates off of her. Like literally, I'm an empath, you guys. And this watching, because it's so very calculated what she's doing, is literally giving me the worst vibes I've ever, like, I cannot stand this woman. And the reason why I say that is because she's very calculated. So what she's doing here is celebrating the fact that the DA couldn't try this case with Melissa Schumann because it was the statute of limitations. That's what she's celebrating here. Everything about this is calculated. Everything. Even if you don't like this woman, what is the point of getting on a video, getting champagne, and being all dressed up and celebrating the fact that the DA couldn't try it? Like,
But it's okay, right? Because she gave to charity. Right? Is that how this works? Wow. So, like, I can be a complete, total, like, psycho bitch on the internet, but it's okay, guys. All I have to do is donate to charity, right? Right? Is that how this is going? This is literally the entire video. This is how she started her channel. I know, right? Please break chair. Yep. Yeah. The reason why people like her is because of this. It's things like this. What's so incredibly disgusting to me is that if it was Molly who had had that horrific experience, I would never in a million years want anyone to do this to her. No one deserves this bullshit. J Skull, $5 super chat. I bet her puppies fall to the floor just like an avalanche. Just saying. Oh no, they're fake. 90% of her body is fake, so they probably stay where they were. Yeah. Yeah. So, right. So now I'm going to put the link out in the chat. Here's the deal. No offense, but I do not want people who agree with me. So if I see you up here and I know that you're, you know, a channel member, or like I know that you sort of agree with the things that I'm saying, I'm going to kick you. It's nothing personal. I only want people who are going to come up here and tell me that Molly is a good person. Only wanting to know whole fundraising thing. Click the link. Thank you. Welcome to the dumpster fire. Or we're just sitting here smirking and mocking. Yeah, probably. Because she's the most disingenuous skank. Yep. Yep. I behoove you to click the link. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. When was this? I believe this was 2018 or 2019. After the DA was forced to drop it because of statute of limitations. Yeah. Yeah. So that's interesting, huh? And I'm still, like I said, I'm still going through all this as channels like mine that
really don't mind. I have something to say.
I am hating. So just wearing a white hood, and to be quite honest with you, like this person that has no avatar, I don't know why I didn't show up, but it sounded like she was auditioning. That's what it sounded like. It's
Oh, that video made me mad. This here video, and Burnt Toast is going to describe it more. This is going to be somebody coming up on panel and defending all of the backlash that MGL was getting at the time when it came to the Summer Wells case and everything like that. But that video, you guys, it sums up. She didn't have to say anything. It sums up who she is as a person. And you literally have the right to talk. Listen, it's not an insult if you call somebody trans, but you have, in my opinion, very manly features. Your jawbone, just everything about your face, you just do. So for you to even talk about anybody else, it just shows what a disgusting human being she is. But excuse me, that whole video of her just coming on just to celebrate with champagne, sticking her middle finger, it's disgusting. Like, it's just disgusting. If you don't like the woman, fine. What's the point of coming on live just to celebrate it? It is to torture this woman and to make this woman feel like she is just this horrible, less than person that wasn't telling the truth because you didn't believe that she was telling the truth. But that whole video, like the vibes coming from that video, is just nothing but pure evilness. You look into her eyes, nothing but pure evilness. We're going to listen to a little bit more of this. We're going to have like 5 more minutes left. And then, yeah.
sounded like she was up there trying to audition as being the biggest Molly sycophant out of the whole panel. And she lays it on way too thick. Like she was just trying way too hard. And like, she literally starts crying. I'm not kidding. Like, she's throwing a complete tantrum. Again, the StreamYard link is pinned to the top of the chat. I would like for someone to come in who disagrees with me to tell me why Molly is a good person. Tell me what your definition of hate is and why I am hating her. And 3, please explain to me why all of this bad behavior, and this is only a sample of 3, 4, or 5 years of her doing this bullshit, but explain to me how you do one fundraiser stream and that's supposed to make up for 5 years of being a complete asshole. I would like to know. I'm just genuinely curious.
If you truly don't mind, I have something to say.
I have no power over what you're going to say.
I think it's pretty sad that this little girl is missing. And she's been missing for a real long time. And what you did this morning, in 2 hours, to help all of the children of the world. In Summer's name.
Oh my goodness.
There's not a goddamn person in this world that could ever say something. Don't just put on your YouTube a fucking balloon and leave a message. You all have the power to put that donate button there.
No, you don't.
Every single person gets a.
Okay, that's not true. Unless somebody has a 10,000 subs, and I think they have to like apply or do something. They can't just stick a button on your channel. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there's a lot of channels like mine that I'm not gonna probably be doing fundraisers on this channel.
Not every creator wants to give to different charities publicly. Some creators like to do that privately, okay? Because they don't want to brag about it. They don't want that type of attention, because you don't have to convince people that you're a good person if you're a good person. Just because different creators who do have 10,000 or more doesn't do charities and, you know, hold charity events and things like that on their channel doesn't mean that they don't give to charities on their own behind the scenes. Okay?
I'm very uncomfortable with that. I donate to charity outside of YouTube. I don't need to brag about it. Okay? There are other channels that I'm friends with that do fundraisers from time to time. Crude AF has a Fuck Cancer that is a fundraiser that's very near and dear to his heart. And, you know, people donate to that. I've donated to that. Like that.
Not the missing children. Do something for them and get the fuck off Marissa's back. She did exactly what she should have done. She did exactly for every child that is missing, exploited. Who in the hell could wrong her? Who in the hell has the heart to wrong her? You know?
Okay, I think you mean who has the right to criticize her. I do, and I will. Anybody who has a YouTube channel is allowed to criticize another channel. People do that to me all the time. People make videos about me. People talk about me. People stream about me. I don't strike them. I don't freak out. I don't cry and scream at my husband like she does. They have the right to do that because nobody is above reproach, right? Like no matter who you are, if you're on YouTube and you have a channel, as in you've posted something, you are not open to criticism. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. That's just, it is what it is. It's like that across all social media platforms. If you can't handle people pushing back on some of the things that you're saying, then maybe this is not the place for you. Or maybe you just need to grow thicker skin.
You can't stop people from talking about you. This is YouTube. People are going to talk about you. People are going to say things about you. There's nothing you can do about it. Like people who message me, and I appreciate it when, you know, they say, "Are you okay? I know that this is hard." I don't understand how much I can convey to people that I was built for this shit. Those types of things I'm resilient to. When people, like, nobody needs to come for me when it comes to that. I feel like the bottom line is, especially when it's creators reaching out to me, just continue to spread awareness, do your due diligence, do research, because no, this creator does not have to be the only creator that you talk about, but bring awareness to it. Just like with Not Another Housewife, she did her own due diligence, her own research. Then you have people out there saying, "Oh, she's biased because she liked Teaya and she got the story wrong." No, she didn't get the story wrong. It's just easier for you to say that because then that appeases MGL's audience, and that's the only thing that you're thinking about. But if you have watched everything that has happened between MGL and myself from the very beginning, then you would see there is no wrong that I've done here, you guys. I'm sorry, there may have been things I could have done differently. Maybe I didn't have to address the palette thing or something, but there's no wrong that I've done. It's very simple. I told the truth to my audience who I care about. That's it. And I don't understand why she would even have anything to say about it, because there are other creators who told the truth as well. Okay. But she didn't say anything about them because, and the most important thing is I was never aligned with that woman. People just wanted to align me with her simply because I wasn't calling her out the way I was without a crystal ball. Get over it. There was a reason why I was doing the things that I was doing. Okay. But ultimately, you can't stop other creators from talking about you. They're going to do what they do. And if you're built for this shit, that kind of stuff doesn't bother you. It may get to you every now and then, but it's not going to bother you to a point where you're sitting there and wanting to roll over and play dead. People are going to talk about you. People are going to do what they do. I have learned my lesson when it comes to this. Just like I don't really know Perplexed. I don't know her. Last night, I actually put 2 and 2 together. She came up on my panel. She seems very nice, but in the same sense, I'm not going to talk to creators that I don't know until I do research. That's just, it is what it is. I feel like that's how you have to be, because you just don't know how problematic somebody is. And you don't want to be aligned with somebody who contradicts everything that you stand for. But like I said, I think she's nice and everything like that. I don't think that she's bad or anything, but I don't know her. And some of the videos that I've gotten and some of the videos that I've seen, even done by Burnt Toast here, she said some really horrible things in the past now. Come on now. Like, let's be real here. So all I'm saying is that you can't stop other creators from talking about you. The only thing that you can control is yourself and what you're going to do next. And either you're going to go tit for tat and do all the gossip drama bullshit. And she talks about my looks and I talk about her. She talks about my lifestyle. I talk about her. She talks about how rich she is. I talk about how she's not. Blah, 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 blah. You can either do that or you can go back and show what a horrible person she is. It's very, very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated or hard.
Not everybody, this is not this is not a safe space. Not everybody is going to agree with you. So I'm sorry. I think this is absolutely hilarious. Also, you're trying way too hard. Like, I'm sure if you just give her money, I'm sure if you just give her money, she'll like make you part of her group. You don't have to like do this whole like, how dare you kind of a thing. It's pretty funny though.
You know what? These people that wrong you, they need to start searching deep in their soul and find out where that fucking pain relies.
And this is what I'm talking about. Like, this person is out of their mind. So they think that if you disagree with Molly, you must have some deep-seated pain in the depths of your soul. No, maybe it's just that we disagree with her. Sometimes it's not that deep. Sometimes we see something that we think is really shitty and we want to call it out. If they feel some type of way, then that's to say, gosh, she had to get a disco ball. She's such a victim. We will be reviewing you. Still waiting for the sycophants to click that link at the top of the chat. Charity stream. And like, that's very fun or at all. Threat, if they weren't a threat to you. Got it.
I don't like to be ugly to people. I don't. And I want peace and happiness and love for everyone. Equality. I'm all about wanting to change the world and be peaceful. And that's just who I am. But
wait a second. You literally just told everybody to go to hell. And you said that basically you're going to beat people up if they come to Dallas, like anybody would do that. Like, now you're going to say that you're peaceful. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this person is really laying it on thick.
You know, when that hit $6,000,
I know.
You see, I looked at my friend who I knew prior to YouTube, who I spoke to prior to YouTube. And I saw somebody that was so proud of.
Oh, here's the fake crying again. Joy. Yep, she was, that was her. She was the one who got out. Love these.
Yes.
I could just like actually.
That's what I wanted.
Wow. Do you realize, like, they don't even realize how creepy that sounds?
Remember, there's a lot of people on here that are real straight up lowlifes.
You're going to call your friend Justice for All out because he did a stream on Summer's birthday after your stream and got a whole bunch of super chats. And you know what was in his title? Summer's name. In fact, his title was like, Happy Birthday, Summer. And he's sitting there getting super chats, actual super chats. There was no button to go to charity. Keep that same energy, MGL. You're going to call him out too? Thank you again. We really appreciate you and all the chat for supporting us and what's right. Have a great night, everyone. I'll be listening. Thank you, Cash Gernon. I appreciate that. Thank you, Cash Gernon, Justice family. I am very sorry for what she did to your family. I can't even imagine. I seriously can't. And once again, notice how none of these people have clicked the link. None of them.
You have, I know I said, thank you so much, Eileen. That was very much appreciated. There's a lot of people on here that are just straight up lowlifes, trashy people. They don't care about the subjects that they talk about. Do you ever see them bust a tear? Do you ever see them bust a move? No, we're seeing it now. They don't give a shit.
Your little
Marissa,
party you had for
So again, and this is something that she did that I noticed with even the because I'm learning just like all of you guys are. But what I noticed that she did with the Justice for Vaughn story is she was like the gatekeeper of this story. And anytime a creator bigger than her would talk about it, she didn't care about the smaller creators, the creators that were bigger than her, like Sherelle's World and even Without a Crystal Ball. But we know the things that Without a Crystal Ball did. But any creator that talked about this, she always tried to basically drag them, and discredit them. Talking about Sherelle's World, saying this isn't about black, white, blah, 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 even though all Sherelle's World was doing was just giving her opinion. Okay. She was like the gatekeeper, and she always made anybody else who talked about it that was bigger than her look like she was just the the blessing to Marvon and Miss Letitia, the blessing. Yes, it's wonderful when you bring awareness. It's wonderful that, you can get money donated and things like that. But I think it's more about the way you bring awareness to this story, and going on your channel and dragging Dre in a way and not sticking to facts of the things that you've seen, but dragging her in a way of talking about her looks and talking about how she looks like a trans woman because she wears too much makeup and her hair, all of these things. Yeah, that's how she talks about a story.
Summer, I felt like I was at her birthday party.
Yes.
I could just like actually.
That's what I wanted.
Wow. Do you realize, like, they don't even realize how creepy that sounds? This is not your child, Ari. That's not your child. That's somebody else's child. I'm sorry if anybody ever said that about my kid. There would be words to be.
You go through different moments, you guys, throughout. Oh, thank you, Stranger Clegan. It says, thank you for highlighting this important story. Much love as always. I love you, Stranger Clegan, and thank you for being such a great friend and my moderator and just having my best interests at heart. And I just adore you. I think you are the most amazing person. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There are different phases when it comes to, being a creator, different parts. Right now, this is the present. This was in the past. And you see how passionate Burnt Toast is about bringing awareness and talking about these issues because she was passionate about it. And then you bring it up to now with like this story about Marvon and Miss Atisha and things like that. Everyone has different stages of where it's like it's the same thing, but a different case, right? A different story. Thank you, Tamara. Oh, thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super sticker. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Thank you. You guys are so sweet.
How the hell do you watch this without getting triggered? I don't know. I don't know. I just have thanks to a lot of people in my community, I've had a lot of practice dealing with people like this. In fact, I co-host a show on Fridays on the Hannibal and Monty show, and it's me and Monty. Monty's the artist that drew my avatar. What channel is that on Fridays?
Shout out to Burnt Toast. I just wanted to show you guys different parts of this video. So there's one more thing I'm going to show you guys real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up because we've been on here for a while. Time goes by so fast when I'm on here because I have so much fun with you guys, and in the same way she feels of the support, Burnt Toast, that she gets from her community, I feel the same way. I have such amazing people that have stood by my side no matter what. And I have met some amazing new people that have stood by my side, and that you guys just, all I can say is I'm very blessed. Here, let me fix this here. There you go. I'm very blessed to have all of you guys because you guys have always, you just make me feel very, you're very supportive. Very. Now I'm going to show you something else. And this is funny. Okay. We're going to end this on being funny. And this is, I watched Makeup Mobster, and there's a certain part of the live stream that I want you guys to hear because I think it shows how much she lies. Okay. So hold on. Let me pull this up really quick. Sorry, I'm just not around lately. My daughter has been in the hospital for a couple of surgeries out of town. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your daughter's doing better. And thank you for being here, Jill B. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for the super sticker. I think that's amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I'm going to share my screen really quick, and I want to show you guys something. Now, Makeup Mobster has definitely brought a lot of awareness as well. When it comes to Mega Mouse, she definitely has been very vocal with the things that she has had to endure. And she's also very much, I feel like, an advocate for people who are hurt by her in so many ways, whether it's being doxxed. She tries to help so many people. I think she's amazing. I was on this live stream, as you can see my picture up there. But this certain part I want you guys to hear because I thought this was very interesting. But I will put her channel also in the description. But I want you guys to hear this part. Now, keep in mind, I'm sure, I don't know what time it is for some of you guys, but if you have little ones around, there's a lot of cussing. I cuss, but not like this, which is fine. Everybody has their own ways with their channel. But I just want to give you like a warning, parental guidance necessary. Okay. So let me play this real quick.
She went to, it was like a convention, right? Did I lose her again? Camo. I think I lost her again. Girl, if that's your picture, you're freaking beautiful. I think we lost her again. She might have to leave and come back up. Damn it, the suspense is killing me. The suspense is killing me. Yes, the London flat. Yes, yes. The last Google Earth picture of our area 4 years ago. That's what I'm saying. A lot of the times the Google Earth pictures are so fucking old. All right, Beefers, don't worry about it. It's all right. It's all good. Killing me.
Me too. Yeah. So, okay. Now, she said in the video, it still has to be up unless somebody else pulled her out. I don't know.
Right.
But she claimed that she was walking right to the place. And this is like, I'm paraphrasing what she said. Okay. And she said, all of a sudden I hear Marissa, right? So
right.
I turn around and guess who it is? It's Nick Carter, right? So she said, then he said to her, "You're not recording, right?" So
yeah,
she
I
goes,
remember
"Oh
that.
no, I'm not recording." So they had some conversation. Well, it's funny, makeup mobster, because it turns out that Nick Carter must be a magician because he was in Vegas that night on stage. Yes, baby.
Let me give you a little bit more context here. Not too long ago, MGL was talking about how she was on her way to see somebody. I can't remember who she was on her way to see, but she was on her way to see somebody. And as she was walking, she seen Nick Carter. And Nick Carter had came up to her and was like, "Are you recording? It's so good to see you." Well, now this is what this lady is going to say afterwards. But if you guys remember her telling that story, here's what this lady has to say.
Baby, I checked. And I knew it. I checked. He was on stage with the Backstreet Boys doing his Vegas residency. Caught, bitch. Caught her in a fucking lie.
No.
That's how fucking stupid she is. Yeah, you ran into Nick Carter. Well, I guess he's a magician.
Wow.
Okay.
So he wasn't even at the 90s con thing.
Yep.
Because that was like, where was that 90s con thing? I thought it was like in like Connecticut or was it in Manhattan or something?
Was it? I keep thinking New York, but I think maybe Philly. Was it Philly?
All right. So, but it wasn't in Vegas. We know.
No, it was not in Vegas at all. Because I was watching and I'm like, wait a minute. I knew they were doing like, they were doing a set in Vegas, the thing. And I'm like, wait. So I Google, I'm like, is Backstreet Boys playing right now? And it came up that they were in concert that night on stage.
Wow. Yeah, it was in Connecticut.
Was it Connecticut? Okay.
Yeah. All right. So wait a second. So now we know the day. It was March 11th through the 13th, right? Last year. All right. So now, hold on a second. Ooh, that just scared the shit out of me. All right. My dog just like starts shaking.
I love him. I had Adobe too. They are the best dogs.
I know they are. He's a maniac, but he's a baby still. He's only 5 months
Exactly.
All right.
Oh, he's gonna be so protective of you.
Oh yeah, he's actually my second one. I had one and then we put him down a year ago. Yeah, it'll actually be a year in like a couple of days.
I want another one too. But like you said, when they're babies, oh my God, the training was crazy with him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But he was such a good boy.
Hold on a second. Ha! I'm gonna show you guys this in a second, just to show you. So he wasn't even fucking there.
No, he wasn't even there.
Well,
I'm
I don't know
listening to her, and I'm like, no, I think they're in Vegas.
I don't know if you were in here, but I've told this story quite a few times on here, but there's new people always coming in. So a couple of years ago, she was up on a live and she's like, yeah, like I'm going to meet Jessica Simpson tomorrow for like lunch. Like she made it like they were fucking eating lunch together, right?
Jessica Simpson.
Okay. And then I'm talking to one of my friends from here, you know, and we're talking back and forth. And she actually lived in Manhattan, this friend. And
Right.
She's like, yeah, she's like, I'm going to Jessica Simpson's doing a book signing tomorrow. And she's like, at this, wherever the fuck it was, some Barnes and Nobles or some shit. And she's like, I'm going. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, hold on a second. So I go, look, I'm like, yo, that's what she's going to, a fucking book signing.
So
tomorrow.
she made it sound like she was like gonna hang out with her, like you said.
Right. She made it sound like they were like, you know, besties meeting up, like old friends meeting up for lunch or some shit. And I was like, oh my God, she's fucking pathetic. Like
she is a hot fucking mess.
Yeah.
Vile. I was saying in the comments, she has more pictures on her camera roll of haters than she does of her own fucking kid. Okay? That's an issue.
Yeah.
And I know you're watching, you fucking fat pig. And I live in New York, bitch. You want to threaten people? Come to me. Come to me.
Oh,
I'll be makeup mobster.
I'm not laughing at what she said. It's the way she said it. There were I think she's mad. I think she's big mad. I don't think she likes her very much. But I'm going to listen to a couple of minutes more because she's going to prove that the Backstreet Boys were at their residency. They were doing a residency at that time in Vegas. So it's almost done.
This is fucking Penelope, bitch. 10 times over.
Girl,
I'm sorry. I can't with her threatening people. Fucking fat ass. Yeah, I'm in New York, honey.
Years, right? I didn't like. Yeah. I would talk about her, and then I just like whatever. She's doing her fucking own thing over there. Just leave me the fuck alone, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, she literally. She's just such a fucking piece of shit.
She talks about you guys all the fucking time.
Yeah, I don't even know if she does. I don't know if she does because I only watch.
Well, now, with the clip channels and shit, like I can't fucking sit there and watch her. Nobody can. Her fucking lives and shit.
No.
But the clip channels, man, I swear she wants to wear the both of you like a Versace fucking dress.
Yeah. She's like I don't even think she's like jealous or anything. I think she just like can't take the fucking criticism of people.
She can't.
How did you find her? Like I'm always interested to know how people fucking came across her.
I was into true crime.
Right.
And it was during the Cash Gurnan thing. Okay. The case.
Okay.
And that would obviously touch a little boy, of course, a little kid. So I started watching her, and I mean, she was.
I disagree with Makeup Mobster. I think Makeup Mobster, she's absolutely gorgeous. And I know it's a cliche thing to say that people are jealous, but sometimes you just have to call it as you see it. And it's unfortunate that people can be jealous and not be happy for women, women supporting other women. But at the end of the day, it's the truth. I do think that she is very jealous of the science girl at Makeup Mobster. I do think that because Makeup Mobster seems like a very genuinely happy woman. Obviously, she has her days like everyone else, but she's a very happy woman. She's a great mother. She's a great wife. She is funny. She has this wonderful personality. She's positive. She's not afraid to compliment other women. She uplifts other women. And that's just something that MGL can never be capable of doing. So I do think that she is jealous, and that's where I disagree with her. But I'm going to show where she proves it, and then that's it.
It didn't seem like it was any drama. Like, I don't like the drama bullshit like that. Fighting.
Right.
Watching her, and I mean, she was watching her, just disgusted. Actually, I went on freaking
about on my channel, and the guy only swat
and talk to your husband.
Went down there. I got the police report and everything, but
I think everybody only has an issue with her.
If somebody else is streaming about her, I don't watch her channel, dude. I refuse to give her fucking view. I won't
give her
fucking
views.
channel. I'm not subscribed to her.
I love
My bad. Sorry about that. I am going to put the video in the description so you guys can see it for yourself. I don't want to skim through all of it because it was a pretty long live stream. So I don't want to skim through all of it, but I will put it in the description and you guys can see for yourself that particular part. And also, okay, so Makeup Mobster was swatted by her. I just really think that you guys should listen to that video. I don't want to listen to the whole thing, but if you guys could just listen and Makeup Mobster tells her story, because I never knew Makeup Mobster's story. I knew that she had some problems. I knew that she was doxxed maybe, and by her, in my opinion, that's what I thought. But she was actually swatted. So you guys, if you don't know her story, definitely go and watch and listen to her story because it's actually really, really sad to me. And it also shows what she's capable of. Okay. So, but here's what I will say is you better be careful when you do those types of things. And like I said, I mean legally. You cannot just go around doing that type of stuff. But of course, just like Makeup Mobster said, someone else did that for her. I don't think she did that on her own. And that keeps her hands clean. But it really doesn't because we all know that she had something to do with it. Yes, Rhonda. Go listen to her story. She tells her whole story, how she was trying to get the police reports and things like that. Go listen. And it's very hard to listen to. It's very triggering because it's like, how could you do that to somebody? How could you do that? How could you do what you did to Melissa Schumann? How can you walk around and just having such evil in your heart? Even in that video, looking at her eyes, like her eyes, like they're so evil. Like I just can't. Thank you guys. Thank you, T Breezy. So I think SWAT, it's very dangerous. So when I was talking to my fiance T Breezy about that, and not any people can't just come and SWAT your house. So I don't know how it works, but it's sad. Her story is very, very traumatic, and I can understand why she very much is spreading so much awareness about her and trying to get people to understand who this woman is. So it's crazy. So I adore you guys. We've been on here long enough. I don't want to keep you guys any longer. This was a long live stream. I always say it's not going to be long, but time just goes so fast when I'm live. But I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. Yes, and thank you guys for being so respectful. Thank you, Kennedy. You guys are always respectful, and I appreciate it. I hope this live stream was informational to some of you who didn't know too much about why she started even a channel. You know what I mean? And from what I see, that was her first video, drinking wine showing her shoes, but I think it was Kennedy who said anybody can paint their shoes red at the bottom, and that's true. Anybody can. But I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. Thank you for the super chats. And thank you to who became a member. I forget who it was, but thank you. Yes, Make a Monster is amazing. And I disagree. I think most people are they don't want to say people are jealous of them, but I call it as I see it. If somebody's jealous, they're jealous. Like it is what it is. It's cliche, but unfortunately, it's just the way some women are. Okay. It is what it is. And I get nothing but jealousy vibes from that woman. Just nothing but evilness and jealousy. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever. It's all interaction. And make sure you subscribe before you leave if you haven't already, if you're new here. Any questions, leave it down in the comments below. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing night. And I just adore every single one of you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Deuces. Love y'all. Bye.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing.